Feel it.
Get up on out the bed and start to move your balls. And seek up a word in Solomon Jones. Word. You better wake up now.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Wake Up with Word. Kawesa, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm still trying to get used to the daylight saving times. I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it with a passion.
Dark
Like
again.
when the time goes back, your sleep messed up. And then when time goes forward, your sleep messed up. I hate it. Just keep the time where it is, man.
Yeah, I kind of, and I'm like, oh man, it's not, I was getting a little bit of sunlight as I was coming in, and then they just snatched it away. And I was like,
it's just not right. But, I'm watching some of the stories that are coming out now, and it takes me back to a year ago. Because when COVID first hit, listeners would call and say, black people can't get it. I told them that wasn't true. Then they said they wouldn't take the vaccine. I put doctors on the air to tell the truth about COVID and this life-saving shot. And now, as black folks stand in long lines to do what needs to be done, I'd like to think we help some people to make their decision. And in case you still don't know that it's right, here's a clue. Trump voters, the same people who believe that Democrats eat babies and drink blood, are now refusing to take the vaccine. Trump voters, the same people who wore bullhorns and face paint to a riot, say they won't take the vaccine. Trump voters, the same people who believe that the California wildfires were started by Jewish space lasers, are refusing to take the vaccine. Now, I know black people have rational reasons for not wanting to be inoculated, and I understand. I get the history. I understand all of that. And really, each of us has to make our own decision, and whatever decision you make, I respect it. But do you really want to be in the same camp with people who believe Hillary Clinton ran a child sex ring out of a pizza parlor? Do you want to be lumped in with people who thought Obama was secretly running a terror cell? I don't think you do. But just in case you need to be convinced, take a look at Trump's people and ask yourself if you want to be down with them. We got a hot show for you today on Wake Up with Word. We'll talk with Dr. Delana Wardlaw and Dr. Elena McDonald. They are, of course, board-certified physicians. Join us to talk about coronavirus and where we are with that. Dr. Ira Goldstein, president of Policy Solutions at the Reinvestment Fund, is going to join us to talk about a recent report he co-authored on the fact that 95% of appraisers in Philadelphia are white and how that impacts wealth gaps. Sherelle Parker, who is the majority leader of City Council, also the council person for the 9th Councilmanic District and the chair of the Delaware River Port Authority, is going to join us to talk about that report as well because she co-authored it. Roxanne Jones is going to join us to talk about what's going on the national stage. And as always, we've got you, our listeners, calling in at 215-634-8065, a toll-free 1-866-361-0900. Hit us on Twitter and Instagram at onWURD, or you can hit me personally at Solomon Jones 1. Watch us on Facebook at FullWord. But first, it's the big three, the news stories you need to know to kick off your day right here on Wake Up with Word. Story number one, I told you Trump voters are now refusing to take the vaccine, but here's what I didn't tell you. The Biden administration is so desperate to get those folks on board that they're seeking Trump's help in promoting the vaccine to his supporters. But Trump isn't the only one and the only way to sway white Republicans who polls have shown are more likely to be hesitant to receive the vaccine. There are even more people who are important voices that can help. I discussed it with my team, and they say the thing that has more impact than anything Trump would say to the MAGA folks is what the local doctors, what the local preachers, what the local people in the community say, Biden said at the White House on Monday. Or maybe, just maybe, the White House could just put Trump on blast since he secretly took the vaccine himself back in January. But now, though, they're being nice about it. If former President Trump woke up tomorrow and wanted to be more vocal about the safety and efficacy of the vaccine, we'd certainly support that. That's what Press Secretary Jen Psaki said at Monday's White House briefing. Health officials, including Dr. Fauci have said Trump's voice in promoting the vaccine would go far in convincing Republicans to get it. Polls have shown Republicans are more likely to say they are wary or don't plan to get inoculated. So that's where we are, Kuwait. So what do you think?
I can't even believe that they would consider using former President Donald Trump to help push these Are they? I'm sorry.
The biggest liar on earth.
I can't, like, that should not even have came out of anyone's mouth. Like, what the hell? Like, seriously? No, absolutely not. Like, I'm baffled. I'm like, I can't even believe. And it not only came out of the current president's mouth, but it came out of other people's. Like, no. Let that man be where he's at. Leave him alone. Leave him be. We don't need him out here, you know, pushing falsehoods and misinformation. Tell him to have a seat. No, we can handle it from here.
Yeah, if he say it, I don't believe it.
Right.
Like, you know, I mean, much as he done lied about everything, man. Every day, all day. We finally got him off of Twitter, thank God. Got him off of Facebook. And you want to let him get back out in the public sphere? I'm with you, Kuwait. Let the people talk to their doctors, man. And then they make their decision. Whatever decision you make, it really is. It's on you. You know what I mean? So let them talk to their doctors. Let them talk to their preachers. Let them talk to their wives, their husbands, their neighbors, whoever it is. Let them talk to other people who took it, and see that they didn't grow another head or another finger or another toe. But, yeah, don't give Trump a platform to say anything, man, because first of all, he's not going to stay on script. That's number one. Number two, he's going to lie. He's going to find a way to lie about something. Do not, under any circumstances, give this man a platform, Kuwait. So I'm with you 100%. Which brings us to story number two. It is a developing crisis at the border. More than 4,000 unaccompanied migrant children are in Border Patrol custody, CNN has learned, marking yet another increase in the number of children held up in border facilities until officials can accommodate them in shelters that are suited for them. The accelerated pace at which children are arriving is added greater stress to the system, leaving them in jail-like facilities for extended periods of time. As of Sunday, there are around 4,200 unaccompanied children in Border Patrol custody. After children are taken into Border Patrol custody, they're turned over to the Department of Health and Human Services, which is charged with the care of migrant children. But amid the coronavirus pandemic, the department has been strained trying to accommodate the influx since shelters had until recently been operating under limited capacity. Over the weekend, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas directed the Federal Emergency Management Agency to help with receiving, sheltering, and transferring children. I'm grateful for the exceptional talent and responsiveness of the FEMA team, Mayorkas said in a statement. I'm incredibly proud of the agents of the Border Patrol who've been working around the clock in difficult circumstances to take care of children temporarily in our care. But as I've said many times, a Border Patrol facility is no place for a child. This is going to be trouble for the Biden administration because here's what's going to happen. The MAGA folks, the Republicans, are going to blame Joe Biden for more children arriving at the border. They're going to say he's soft on immigration. That's why we have so many children arriving, and we need to vote him out. And it will be a message that is based on racism. It will be a message that is based on hate. But you know what? It's going to be a message that resonates. He's got to handle what's happening on the border, or it is going to be a political problem for him. I guarantee you that. Kuwait, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. And I almost kind of worry about the fact that there's not really going to be a perfect way to spin this, and so
Yep.
that's the concern I have. But I also think about the fact that, like, what's going on where you have so many parents that are just like, you know what, it's safer for you to be unaccompanied and go all the way out here on this journey to get to America, as opposed to staying, where they're from. And so that's the other thing. It's like, man, it makes you really kind of understand, like, stuff must be really bad, where they're coming from in order to even just, like, let their kids go off on this type of journey unaccompanied and pray that, that journey is gonna make their lives better than whatever it is that they're coming from. So it's a bad situation all the way around.
It's a heartbreaking situation because these are kids. Like, what do you do? You know what I mean? What do you do? and there is no perfect answer. So we're going to be watching that very carefully. But story number 3, a major development out of the January 6th riot. Federal authorities have charged a Pennsylvania man with assaulting Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick during the January 6th riot in Washington, but stopped short of accusing him of causing the officer's death. Prosecutors said Monday that Julian Cater, 32, of State College, shot bear spray into the face of Sicknick and 2 other officers as a crowd of rioters mobbed the west side of the building and tore down metal barriers placed to keep them at bay. Just moments before, they said, Cater had been caught on video pulling a canister of the chemicals from the backpack of another man, George Pierre Tanios, 39, of Morgantown, West Virginia, who has also been charged in the case. Give me that bear, blank, Cater told Tanios, according to a description of the footage detailed in court filings. Tanios, according to the documents, responded, "Hold on, not yet, not yet. It's still early." Authorities pointed to that exchange Monday in seeking to keep both men in custody until their trials, calling them flight risks and dangers to the community. The verbal exchange between Cater and Tanios reveals that the two were working in concert and had a plan to use toxic spray against law enforcement, FBI agents wrote in court filings. The investigation into Sicknick's death has been one of the FBI's top priorities as it carries out its vast national investigation into the January 6th attack, which has led to more than 300 arrests, including at least 40 from Pennsylvania and New Jersey. So here's where we are. Brian Sicknick is the Capitol Police officer who died as a result of that riot. He died when he went back to his headquarters and he collapsed, right? And died soon after that. And they have been trying to connect his death to specific individuals who assaulted him. Initially, they said that he was hit in the head with a fire extinguisher, but as their investigation continued, they revised their theory and now believe that his exposure to unidentified chemical irritants during the insurrection contributed to his death. They have not released toxicology reports. They have not released cause of death. And so we don't know what was said in the autopsy. But I know this much. If these people had been black, and I'm sorry, I got to go here, I got to say it. If these people had been black, they would have found a way to charge them with his murder. Point blank, period. We all know this to be true in our community. We know it's the truth. And so we just got to say it. So the point that I'm trying to make is this: why isn't anybody charged with his murder? And why aren't all of the other people who were around when he was murdered charged as accessories in his murder? Why aren't there 1,000 people charged? Why are there only hundreds of people charged? There were 8,000 people there, the last estimate I heard. Why is it only like a little over 300? Why are they only expecting to charge about 400? And why, on God's green earth, is nobody charged with Brian Sicknick's murder? Kill a cop in the hood, see what happened. Be black and do something to a police officer, and they catch you, and see what happened. You're going to be in jail, under the jail, if you survive. And so, what in the world is going on with this? I need to know. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. I'm glad they arrested somebody, but here's what I'm trying to figure out. Why don't we know what the cause of death was? Why don't we know what was in the toxicology report? This is months later. Why has nobody been charged with his murder? And why haven't others been charged as accessories? Again, we know how this thing works in the hood, right? If you were there, you're an accessory. You're part of it. You contributed to it. You're charged as well. If you handed him, if you were the person who, drove him there or whatever, You're charged as an accessory. You were part of it. And so what I'm trying to figure out is A, why has no one been charged with murder? And B, why don't we have, dozens of accessories? If you were there and watched it happen in the hood, right? You're charged. And so I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. And maybe it would help if we could see the toxicology report. Maybe it would help if we could see the autopsy. Maybe they're trying to keep it secret so that they can figure out how to charge him. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But somebody needs to be held accountable for this officer's murder, because that's what it was. We're going to talk about it on the other side of this break. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. I'm Solomon Jones. This is WURD. We'll be right back.
WURD is supported by Temple University, Philadelphia's public university. At Temple, we aim to make college accessible for all. That's why we launched the Cecil B. Moore Scholars Program, a bridge program for high school students in North Philadelphia that offers pre-college support, including tutoring, career exploitation, and the opportunity to take a free course at Temple. It's part of our commitment to cultivate leaders from our city and to support all students in reaching their full potential.
The Sweet Treat Hut is the highest rated juice bar in Philly, located on the corner of 50th and Thompson Streets, providing delicious, healthy vegan food, juices, and smoothies. Treat yourself to a cup of happiness. Call 215-877-1471.
As a community service, WURD Radio and the Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium wants to keep you informed about where to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. The Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium offers COVID-19 vaccines and COVID-19 testing for the week of March 14th. No appointment is necessary. Must live in a hardest hit zip code, and you must be Phase 1 eligible. The following vaccinations take place at the Leah Cora Center from 10 a.m. till 4 p.m. Sunday, March 14th, for distribution of the Moderna vaccine only. Monday, March 15th, for distribution of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine and the second shot of Moderna. And Tuesday, March 16th, for distribution of the Moderna vaccine only. Stay informed and stay well with WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Mattress Firm. Busy Schuylkill Expressway, eastbound Boulevard through Girard. Westbound, not bad yet. Westbound Vine, you're jammed up 95 out through Broad Street. All that from an earlier disabled vehicle. Southbound Boulevard, Route 1 getting heavy from Broad down through Fox through construction. Southbound 95, that's a jam. Cobman down through Bridge through work. Again, Allegheny through Girard. Heavy northbound, not bad this morning. Looking at delays, we have 55. That is jamming northbound Deptford into 42. Now, the Ben Franklin Bridge westbound, that jams heading into Center City, Philadelphia as a result of that earlier disabled vehicle on the Vine Expressway. Save up to $300 on top-rated brands like Sealy and Sleepy's at Mattress Firm right now. And you can get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 or more to elevate your sleep. Every night, save big. Sleep matters. Shop the semi-annual sale now. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
Cloudy skies and a cold start this morning, but dry. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s will gradually climb to near 40 at lunchtime and a high of 42 this afternoon. Late this afternoon, a chance of some scattered light showers, possibly mixing with wet snowflakes. Little to no accumulation, but damp roads, yes, late this afternoon and tonight. Tomorrow, the showers end early. Wednesday will be mostly cloudy, 38 in the morning, 53 in the afternoon, and a low of 40 degrees on Thursday, but rain arrives in the morning and stays through the day and into Thursday night, high of 52 on Thursday. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
Back by popular demand. It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I'm going to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word, and we're taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. So we're talking about a number of things this morning. Trump voters now refusing to take the vaccine. But here's what I didn't tell you. The Biden administration so desperate to get these folks on board, they're seeking Trump's help in promoting the vaccine to his supporters. Do you want to see Donald Trump on TV trying to promote anything? Story number 2, more than 4,000 unaccompanied migrant children are in Border Patrol custody. CNN has learned, marking yet another increase in the number of children held up in border facilities until officials can accommodate them in shelters that are suited for them. And then story number 3, federal authorities have charged a Pennsylvania man and a West Virginia man with assaulting Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick during the January 6th riot in Washington, but stopped short of accusing them of causing the officer's death. Would this happen in the hood? I want to hear from you. Give me a call. 215-634-8065 is the number. Let's go to the phone lines. Talk to Brother Michael in Columbus, Ohio. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Brother Solomon and Sister Kwesi. I do not want to see Trump on TV or any kind of form of media encouraging anyone to do anything. What I would like is that the Biden administration put pressure on those state governments that they just gave all that money to advocate for folks to get the vaccine and all the support resources that's tied to that money and make them do their job. There's no need to give, to reach out to Trump to do anything. They just need to do their job. And I voted for President Biden, and I'm very disappointed that Trump's name is even coming up as a person to advocate for any process at this point after January 6th.
Yeah.
So thanks, Solomon, and I'll continue listening. Have a great day.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. And I think you're absolutely right. Like, you don't give him a platform to say anything, man. This dude is toxic. You don't do it. Brother Hurt from North Philly is online, too. Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, Sam. God bless you and your family.
God bless you, too.
For yesterday, I was just hyped. Sam,
I know. That's all right.
Say, when I went home yesterday, my little granddaughter's 3. She said, where you going, Papa? I said, I'm going upstairs. She said, you going to listen to Simon? Because she listened to talk radio with me. As far as President Trump, only place I want to see him at is in jail. Period.
Yeah, man.
And number 2, number 3, I want on everybody when they get this money to get their birth certificate, get their Social Security card, upgrade your ID. And when these kids turn 18 before 2024, get all the information in the birth certificate, Social Security card, ID, over your checking account, and get their card. These people coming for us when it's time to vote 2020.
They sure are. They sure are.
Love you guys, man.
Love you back, man. Thank you so much, Brother Hurt. We appreciate you as always. And tell your granddaughter I said hi. Malik from Mount Airy is on line 3. Go ahead, Malik.
Good morning, Solomon. Good morning, Kuwait and Word family. I guess we can't get rid of this 45 because he's still you about to give him a platform to speak to the people who are pretty much not just intoxicated, just poisonously intoxicated by white supremacy and racism.
Yeah.
Then you're going to get their cult leader a microphone to say, hey, talk to him again. This is,
I know. Like what?
That's literally counterproductive. You're literally saying, I'm going to give, I already know, you toxic. But you know what? And I know you literally are a danger to this country because you already incited an insurrection. But you know what? We need you to talk to these people some more. No, that's not what you do. You silence him. You take every possible way for him to get in contact with his minions at all costs. I'm not giving you a microphone to talk to him again. That being said, if it was brothers, if it was you, me, and a couple
what you doing, mixing some eggs, Malik?
Yeah. I'm hey, I'm making a wife breakfast. But, it's funny, man. I sit here and I laugh at these people because they're literally about to find a way not to charge people with murder in the first degree.
Right.
And it's funny because y'all, you are amazing because, you know, if it was you and me and some other brothers, they would already have us in the jail with first-degree murder if they didn't kill us that day. Because
that's right.
I tell you a perfect instance. Remember when the brother killed the cop up at the Dunkin' Donuts on Broad Street? He got open floor.
I do.
They found him in like 2 days.
Yeah.
It's been almost 2 months, and they still can't find these people that killed the cop. If it was us, listen, we'll go to New Mexico, we'll go to wherever we got to go to come find you. But y'all letting these people go on vacation because they paid for it.
Yeah.
Oh, she didn't mean it. She was just talking to the Russians to give Nancy Pelosi's computer away by accident. She didn't know what she was doing. Come on, man. They just trying to find a way to make sure white supremacy stays strong and find a way to let these people off because it was like you said, it was thousands of people out there, but you only just found a way to charge 800. Let's just say 400 to 800. Come on, man. Stop it, man.
Not even that. Not even that. Almost 400. So I want to thank you so much for your call, and you are absolutely right. Let's go to Brother Jacob from Olney. He's on line 1. Go ahead, Jacob.
Good morning. Peace be unto you, brother. Look, you know, when this COVID-19 first broke out, right, and they were showing stats that were showing that black people was dying a lot faster than the white people, right? I believe that's why some of the white supremacists up there said, well, let it fly, you know.
You might be right. You might be right.
But now check this out. Again, don't give that crazy man any play because, again, if white people, and he going to be talking to most of his white supremacist people that follow him, right? Now, if he's not going to convince them to get the shot, I feel sorry for him because, you know, my mom used to say, well, go around, come around.
Yeah.
If we all got the shots, right, everybody, and they ain't got it, they're going to be in trouble, right? They're going to be dying at faster rates, right? Not that I would wish on them what they evidently did to us as a people. And we know what we're working with now, and it's just flat-out racism. So I don't know, man. I say white folks, y'all shouldn't need nobody to let you have common sense and to make your own decisions about life and death. But I'm going to pray, Solomon. You pray with me, and we're going to be praying. Amen.
Amen. All right. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. Kawesa, you are so right. Like, why would you let him say anything to anybody? You know, you know that he's not going to stick to the script. He's going to say something crazy, right? He's going to try to send some kind of signal. You cannot at all amplify him at all about anything. He's under criminal investigation in at least 2 states. Why would you put a criminal up on stage and say anything to anybody and you, the doggone United States government? Why would you do it? Maybe it's me, Kawesa.
No, it's not you. I'm sorry. When I saw that story last night, I was so baffled. I was like, what? Yo, no. Like, whatever y'all are smoking must be some good stuff, because
I'm telling you.
My goodness. Why in the world? And then you know he's going to try to use it as a platform to elevate himself because that's all he cares about.
Yeah.
He cares about no one but himself and maybe one of his kids. You know, like he really does. Maybe one, exactly.
Maybe
Ivanka, the daughter, exactly. He don't care about the rest of them. He really doesn't. So I mean, come on, like why would you even? I don't even know why that would even creep into your mind, even a smidge. Like it shouldn't. It shouldn't at all. And is it bad that it kind of worries me a little bit that you would even think that? Like, why? Why would you? Yeah. I don't know. It's beyond
It's
me.
crazy. You know, here's my thing. If y'all want to use Trump as a messenger, this is what you do. Put out the news that he got his vaccine in January. That's all. Like, keep putting that out every day, all day. Donald Trump got the vaccine in January. Him and his wife. Just keep putting it out. You know what I mean? Just make sure that that people know. And if he and he ain't going to deny it, well, he might, because he, this dude will lie about stuff. You just seen him on TV saying one thing. He like, nah, I didn't say that. But keep putting it out. He got his in January. That's y'all following him. He got his in January. That's what you got to do. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning show. Of course, people are also commenting on Facebook, and you can do so too at FORWURD, at FORWURD, FORWURD. That is where you can comment on Facebook and let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So we do have a few folks weighing in and checking us out. Good morning, Miss Cheryl. Thanks so much for weighing in and saying hi to everyone like you always do. Nicole Streets, thank you so much for checking us out. And also Tom Bryant, he's saying good morning. Awesome. Friend, how are you? God bless. So that's I think he might be responding to someone, but good morning to you. And then also, we have here Malcolm White is checking us out as well. Gail Robinson is saying good morning also. So thank you for checking us out also. And then she says white folks don't see white folks as killers while they are killing them, all the while saying why. And then saying, well, I'll let people go and read that. I don't want to call people names. But Linda Pierce, good morning to you. Rebecca Everett Gilmore charging these two guys with assault rather than murder and asking Trump to talk to his supporters is white privilege at its best. And I got to agree with you on that one. Atia Hicks, good morning to you. And then also Diane Hamilton Mitchell, thanks so much for checking us out. Good morning to you. And Rebecca Truxon, thanks so much for saying hi to us also. And then I just wanted to grab a couple other, I think Jackie Brody Davis checked us out earlier, and Casa Who, and Tony Freeman, thank you for weighing in this morning as well. He says, good morning, Brother Solomon, Queen Kawesa, and Word family. And I think those are all of the folks. I tried to grab all of them. Oh, and Gail also says, they have to send them back, contact parents, or they stay in those holding centers, but they must be returned home. That's in regards to the immigrant children. And Cheryl Brown is saying it really is heartbreaking about these children coming here unaccompanied. So those are our comments that we have right now.
All right. So all of that's going on, but wait, there's more. So in the Minneapolis trial of the police officer who killed George Floyd, his defense team is asking the court to delay his trial and move the venue, move it out of Minneapolis. Now, you'll remember, those of us who are old age, you're going to remember that that's what they did with the Rodney King trial. Remember that? They moved it from Los Angeles to a place called Simi Valley. It was a place that was virtually all white, and it was a place where many police officers lived. And they found those 4 officers not guilty, right? So that's what they're trying to do in this case. And their excuse is that the city announced that it had paid George Floyd's family $27 million in a civil suit. Now, those of you who know just a little bit about the law know that a civil suit is different from a criminal case. The burden of proof is different. All of it is just different. And so they're saying that, look, when you got the mayor and city council saying that they gave $27 million to the family, that's prejudicial to the jury. So now we want to delay the trial, number one, move the venue out of Minneapolis, number 2. And then number 3, we want to go back and re-question all of the jurors, and we want extra opportunities to strike jurors from the jury pool. Kawesa, have they lost their minds? Have they lost their minds?
Nothing surprises me. Nothing. Of course they've lost. No, they have. They have. There's no other words to say. They've lost their ever-loving minds. I don't have words, Solomon. I really don't.
Now, we done watched the man. He guilty.
Right.
All of this stuff that y'all doing is just, it's you just delaying, hopefully, the inevitable, right? Because we've seen some crazy stuff in these trials. But, I mean, the man is guilty, man. We saw, everybody, the whole world saw it. Why you think millions of people took to the streets? Black people, white people, Asian people, Native Americans, Europeans, everybody took to the streets because we saw him murder the man, and he took almost 9 minutes to do it, kneeling on his neck while the man begging for air. You can move the venue to Timbuktu, man. You still guilty. It don't matter. Like, are you out of your mind? But that's where we are. Prejudicial? No, the thing that's prejudicial is that tape. We also, the jurors are going to see the tape. It don't matter what you do, what you say, they are going to see that tape that's almost 9 excruciating minutes long with him with his knee on his neck. So it doesn't matter. You can move it. Doesn't matter. You move it however many times you want, whatever you want to do. I know what they're trying to do in terms of the jurors. They're trying to get an all-white jury, but, we all saw it. We all saw it. So we're going to talk about that. But first, we got to talk with Dr. Elena McDonald, Dr. Delana Wardlaw. They, of course, are going to update us on what's going on with this virus, with the vaccine, and more. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
We do all we can to ensure our kids are happy, healthy, safe, and strong. Having high-quality, low-cost health insurance helps make that possible. With CHIP, your child can have medical, dental, eye care, and more for free or low cost. Whether you're self-employed, unemployed, or your employee benefits are just too expensive, CHIP is there for you to help your child be strong. CHIP Strong. Apply or renew today at 800-986-KIDS or go to chipcoverspakids.com.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
This Women's History Month, WURD Radio is proud to celebrate Black women innovators and trailblazers who have helped us all level up.
Welcome to Black Artist Story 365. My name is Envy McKee. Get into this episode where we explore the art and artistry of American-born French entertainer, French resistance agent, and civil rights activist Josephine Baker. In New York City during the Harlem Renaissance, she performed at the Plantation Club and in the chorus line of the groundbreaking and hugely successful Broadway revues Shuffle Along in 1921 and The Chocolate Dandies in 1924. Baker was billed at the time as the highest paid chorus girl in vaudeville. Goddess Jo sailed to Paris in October of 1925 to open La Revue Nègre. She became an instant success for her danse sauvage, what we call the banana skirt dance. I guess, everybody called it that. Josephine Baker was the most successful American entertainer working in France. So that's it for this episode of Black Artist Story 365. My name is Envy McKee. See you next episode.
This Women's History Month vignette was brought to you by Comcast and Thomas Jefferson University and Jefferson Health.
WURD recognizes Black women innovators and entrepreneurs who are making history every day. Nominate a Black woman-owned business for our Level Up contest. Go to wordradio.com for more information. Brought to you by Bank of America, Comcast, Keystone First, PICO, Thomas Jefferson University, and Jefferson Health.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Mattress Firm. Busy ride both ways. Schuylkill Expressway eastbound now City through Girard. Westbound getting heavy from City out through Belmont. Southbound Boulevard Route 1. You're jamming 9th Street down through Fox through construction. On the Vine Expressway westbound busy 8th out through Broadigan Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. Southbound 95 jams Cotman through Bridge through construction. Heavy again Betsy Ross through Girard. 55 northbound at a jam there from Deptford into 42. Save up to $300 on top-rated brands like Sealy and Sleepy's and Mattress Firm right now. And you can get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 or more to elevate your sleep every night. Save big, sleep better. Shop the semi-annual sale now. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a WURD weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
A cloudy and chilly day today with a chance of some late afternoon scattered light showers, a high of 42 degrees. The chance of showers continues overnight tonight and into first thing Wednesday morning. 38 the low tomorrow, then mostly cloudy tomorrow afternoon and a bit milder, a high of 53. Back into the 50s on Thursday with cloudy skies and a soaking rain that arrives Thursday morning and continues through the day into Thursday night. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with Word, as we do every Tuesday. We're talking with Dr. Elena McDonald and Dr. Elena Wardlaw. They're board-certified physicians, and they are twins. Dr. McDonald, good morning.
Good morning, Solomon. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Dr. Wardlaw, good morning.
Good morning, Solomon.
Okay, so I want to talk about trusted messengers for the vaccine, for what's going on with this virus. Of course, the two of you have been just graciously speaking with our audience for months about what's happening with this virus and giving us updates. We now learn that many in the Make America Great Again, Donald Trump camp politically are talking about not wanting to take the virus. Of course, it's been politicized in ways that have been harmful, but trusted messengers. So they're talking about having the former president to tell people to take the vaccine. In our community, and I guess beyond, who are the trusted messengers? Dr. Wardlaw, I'll start with you, and why is it important to have them?
So trusted messengers in our community, particularly African-American communities, are people that we have something in common with, and people that we can connect with, but also people who have accurate information in regards to whatever it is that we're discussing. And right now it's COVID-19. So we have trusted messengers and obviously African-American physicians. We also have trusted messengers in the church. We also have trusted messengers in our community leaders who have come together and have made the vaccine available to us and have made sure that accurate information has been available to the city's residents. And so trusted messengers are people who you really feel like have your best interest at heart. And Dr. McDonald and I, we like to take these serve as trusted messengers. The Twin Sister Doc's motto is 3 T's: trust, translate, transform. Giving out trusted messages, giving out accurate information that allows people, it translates into people making informed decisions for themselves, and that translates into transformational outcomes. So again, a trusted messenger will allow for someone to receive accurate information, someone that they trust, someone that they connect with, so that that person can make an informed decision.
Dr. McDonald?
Yes, just to piggyback on what Dr. Wardlaw said, we have to meet people where they are. So you have to get messengers, number one, who have accurate information and who are trusted to put that information out in a manner so that people feel comfortable with the decisions that they're making. You also want to give people the opportunity to ask questions. Everyone should be given the opportunity to ask questions and have them answered appropriately to alleviate their fears. And as you have mentioned that, we're now starting to see data come out that, depending on your political affiliation, you may not be considering getting a vaccine. Yeah. That's another hurdle that we have to get over. So you have to figure out what trusted messenger you're going to get in front of these people to help them understand the information and hopefully help them make a decision, an informed decision, obviously for their family, for their friends, for their community. But that's how you have to determine your trusted messengers.
So, yes,
I would
go
like
ahead.
to say thank you for always giving the opportunity for your listeners to be able to ask questions, because that is important in this whole discussion with vaccines. People have to be able to ask questions to get answers. So we thank you for that, Solomon. We thank you for that.
Absolutely. You are so welcome. You know, when we look at what's happening with the vaccine, so the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is the one-shot vaccine. The numbers on it aren't as high in terms of preventing disease as the numbers for the other two, for the Pfizer and Moderna. But people are now using the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Are we hearing any feedback as to, you know, what's happening with that one-shot vaccine? Dr. Wardlaw, I'll start with you.
So in terms of the numbers, with the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines, the numbers were very high, 94, 95%. We usually don't, we don't need a vaccine to be that effective to be able to get any condition or any disease state under control. We usually see vaccines usually like in the 50 to 60% effective rate. So the fact that the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was less effective doesn't mean that it is not effective. So we readily accept that, because it's a one-shot dose. It allows people to be able to get it and go on about their lives and not have to worry about coming back. In terms of the how it's being received, I have not heard, I've heard the traditional side effects that many people get from vaccines in general, soreness at the site and the headaches and, some low-grade fevers and temperatures. But otherwise, I have not heard anything contrary to that, Solomon. I haven't heard anything else of concern or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Dr. McDonald?
Yes. So for Johnson & Johnson, yes, the numbers were a little bit lower, the 70% range. However, the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was 85% effective in decreasing severe disease, hospitalization, and death. And the key thing for a vaccine is to prevent severe outcome if you come in contact with the disease after you get the vaccine. So Johnson & Johnson is still an extremely effective vaccine. We encourage persons to get any vaccine that they are called for, because if you wait, it may be weeks or months before you get called for the vaccine that you're waiting on. They are all effective, and we recommend that you get anyone that you're called for.
Mm-hmm. Now, there is a vaccine that's out that has been suspended in terms of its use in a few major countries in Europe. Germany, France, Italy, Spain suspended use of AstraZeneca's COVID-19 vaccine Monday over reports of dangerous blood clots in some recipients. That has not been approved yet to be used in America. But this AstraZeneca vaccine, some problems in other countries with it. Dr. Wardlaw, what do you think concerning this AstraZeneca vaccine?
Well, with any vaccine, the whole process of you want to make sure that you're looking for potential side effects or potential adverse outcomes. Now, a blood clot will be considered an adverse outcome and not just a side effect. So what they're doing now is they're putting the usage on hold, which they should do, right? And it just lets us know why. Even after the vaccines are being administered, the safety profile is still being monitored. It's not that you get to administering it and then all the monitoring processes are done. So it tells us that the processes are working. The side effects and the adverse effects are still being monitored, and this is a concern. Right now what they're doing is they've shelved the vaccine so they can see if the vaccine itself is directly related to those blood clots or if it was some other causes that may have caused the blood clot.
Mm-hmm. Dr. McDonald, what do you think?
Yes, same thing. If you're starting to see some increases in cases, the data that I reviewed, they had about 37 cases, and that's enough for them to pause and say, okay, are we seeing a direct connection between the vaccine and this and these clots that people are having? They have not made that determination yet, but it is appropriate and responsible to halt the vaccine until you get more data.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so right now the three that are approved here in America: Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson. Pfizer and Moderna both are two-shot vaccines. Johnson & Johnson is one shot. Had the opportunity to go to the FEMA site, took a relative of mine there to get her first shot. And so I watched how it's operating. Very smooth down there. And I think they're doing the Pfizer vaccine at the FEMA site. Dr. McDonald, what do you know about the FEMA site and what they're doing there?
Well, with the FEMA site, as you said, Solomon, a lot more resources are being pulled into that site because that's federal run, federal funds, and much more space, much more people running, get people in, get people out. As far as the vaccines, really it determines what is available and what the city, what allotment comes in for that week, which vaccine will be available for the person down there. So I encourage everyone, if you have not signed up, please continue to sign up. And when you are determined to be eligible to receive the vaccine, please go get the vaccine.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that we've heard that is false is that Marvin Hagler, who is a middleweight boxer who recently died after he took the vaccine. That's not true. He died from natural causes. But, in terms of the rumor mill, what can we do, Dr. Wardlaw, to try to dispel these rumors that we hear that could be harmful in terms of people, being hesitant to do what they need to do for their health?
We just need to continue to put out clear, consistent, accurate messages on a regular basis to be able to dispel these myths because they pop up every single day. And I have to say, Solomon, that I'm very proud of our communities. We have pulled together. We're seeing these lines. We are people coming out to get the vaccines. And when we discuss hesitancy, and people have a right to be, to have some hesitancy. New vaccine, we just needed questions answered. As a medical profession, it was the onus was on us to make sure we presented this information in a clear manner. And I think we need to do that on a daily basis to make sure that people continue to receive this information, to make sure that the myths are debunked. So that means a campaign. That means that we need to put up signs, billboards. We need to put out, we just need to make sure that the consistent, clear messaging is available to people so that we can debunk these myths.
All right. Dr. McDonald, where can people find the two of you?
You can find us at Twin Sister Docs on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and thetwinsisterdocs.com.
All right. I want to thank you both for joining us this morning on WURD.
Thank you for having us, Solomon.
Thank you, Solomon.
All right, you too. So we are going to go to break, and on the other side of this break, we're going to take your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. No, we're not. We're going to talk with our next guest. Actually, Dr. Ira Goldstein is going to join us. He's the president of Policy Solutions at the Reinvestment Fund. And a little later in that segment, Sherelle Parker is going to join us as well. They co-authored a piece on the fact that 95% of the appraisers in Philadelphia are white, and talk about how this impacts wealth gaps. I'm Solomon Jones. This is WURD. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is John.
Hi, this is Juanita, owners of JD's Auto Body and Painting. We're located at 6300 Wayne Avenue, right there at the intersection of Wayne and Washington Lane.
We really like to thank all you WURD listeners for the support that you've given our business, and we really hope to see you in the future.
JD, tell them about our products and services we have.
We have a new state-of-the-art paint shop along with our body shop and detail shop. We can help you with the dents and scratches from the winter season.
Come to JD's Auto Body and Painting. Come on out and check us out. We're still honoring that WURD 10% discount. Give us a call, 215-848-5949. Again, 215-848-5949.
Thanks again for supporting our business. We really appreciate you.
See you at JD's Auto Body and Painting.
If you understand the value of doing business with a company that values its clients, remember this name: Heat and Air Guys. At Heat and Air Guys, we give our clients extra value by offering lots of ways to make their lives easier. Like financing for your installation. You get 18 months, no interest, no payments, 10-year parts and labor warranties, service on all makes and models, seasonal tune-ups, all offered by skilled, reliable technicians who value the opportunity to be of service to you. Call Heat and Air Guys at 610-583-3207.
The Black Words Book Club. WURD Radio's new monthly conversation on books that explore the African American experience through social, economic, and environmental justice issues. Tune in the second Tuesday of every month on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. For April, WURD Radio is partnering with the Free Library of Philadelphia and showcasing their pick for its annual citywide reading program, One Book, One Philadelphia, entitled The Tradition by Jericho Brown. Be sure to listen live, as Nick Taliaferro will hold a contest for a giveaway book bundle that consists of 4 titles from Kensington's Defina's Authors of Color's newest release. Don't miss it, Tuesday, April 13th on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Attention for WURD members. Get your copy and receive a 20% discount when you purchase at Harriet's Bookstore or Hakeem's Bookstore. For more information on the Black Words Book Club, visit wordradio.com. The Black Words Book Club is sponsored by Defina. Defina is an imprint of Kensington Publishing Corporation, America's independent publisher, concentrating on authors of color. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Independent Black Media. Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by Mattress Firm. Busy ride both ways. Schuylkill Expressway eastbound, now City through Girard. Westbound getting heavy from City out through Belmont. Southbound Boulevard, Route 1, you're jamming 9th Street down through Fox through construction. On the Vine Expressway westbound, busy 8th out through Broadigan Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. Southbound 95 jams Cotman through Bridge through construction. Heavy again Betsy Ross through Girard. 55 northbound out of jam there from Deptford into 42. Save up to $300 on top-rated brands like Sealy and Sleepy's and Mattress Firm right now. And you can get a free adjustable base when you spend $6.99 or more to elevate your sleep every night. Save big, sleep better. Shop the semi-annual sale now. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a WURD weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
Cloudy skies and a cold start this morning, but dry. Temperatures in the 20s and 30s will gradually climb to near 40 at lunchtime and a high of 42 this afternoon. Late this afternoon, a chance of some scattered light showers, possibly mixing with wet snowflakes. Little to no accumulation, but damp roads, yes, late this afternoon and tonight. Tomorrow, the showers end early. Wednesday will be mostly cloudy, 38 in the morning, 53 in the afternoon, and a low of 40 degrees on Thursday, but rain arrives in the morning and stays through the day and into Thursday night, high of 52 on Thursday. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
You're waking up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM and 96.1 FM WURD, and I'm going to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. Joining us now is Dr. Ira Goldstein. He co-authored, along with Councilwoman Sherelle Parker and Gregory Squires, a piece on home appraisals and their role in America's racial wealth gap. Dr. Goldstein, good morning.
Good morning.
So what made you decide to study the racial makeup of those who do home appraisals?
Basically because, over the course of the last several decades, people have argued that the appraisal industry has oftentimes not produced the most objective evaluation of what a property is worth, and that lack of objectivity will sometimes manifest along racial lines. Other parts of the real estate industry, be it the people who sell it or the people who finance real estate, have recognized over the last period that it's important to have some diversity in the workforce that that makes loans or sells properties and the like. And we took a look at the appraisal industry and found that in the Philadelphia region, approximately 95% of appraisers or assessors are white, not Hispanic, which is vastly disproportionate to what the region looks like, and it's also disproportionate to what that industry looks like in other places.
So in black neighborhoods, you might find the same property, same quality of housing, and it has a lower value than similar property in a white neighborhood. Is that just in the Philadelphia region? Is that something that's consistent across the board? And what do the appraisers have to do with it? Is it just them, or is it other parts of the housing industry too?
That is, I think, the big and most important question. So, yes, you will find similar properties in different neighborhoods described by the racial composition of those neighborhoods. Like, for example, I grew up in East Oak Lane. If you compare a house in East Oak Lane to a house in West Oak Lane, very similar houses, slightly different racial makeup, you will find different values. The question is whether or not, in the extent to which the appraisers are reflecting the actual value of those properties, or whether or not those appraisals are, shaded by the racial makeup of those neighborhoods. But, the other actors in this, as I said, are the people who show you properties to look at and potentially bid on. It could be the lending institutions that are racially biased in the way they make their loans. Or even, each of us, we all make our choices about where we want to go and look for property. And do we want to pay the same, as I said, for a similar property in East and West Oak Lane, or, pick any two neighborhoods that have a similar housing stock but different racial makeup in Philadelphia. So the appraisers are part, but they're certainly not the entire story.
How does somebody even become an appraiser?
Well, there's training and certifications. There's the Appraisal Institute, which is one of the entities that certifies one as an appraiser. There's also a master appraiser. There's a variety of different trainings and the like that people need to go through to get that qualification. And it's a complicated thing that appraisers do, and so the importance of using good, sound, objective data about the market, using the proper analytics, making the right adjustments and the like, is really a skill, and one that really does require a fair amount of training and experience, and also training and experience people are recognizing now to make sure that their personal biases don't creep into the way it is that they value property.
So why are 95% of them white then? So if it requires a certain amount of training and, you can become an appraiser with this training, why aren't there more appraisers of color? Is the industry keeping them out? Like, how does the racial makeup what it is?
Solomon, I don't know the answer to that question. What I would say is that, there certainly in a lot of different parts of the real estate industry, there's a history of bias against allowing people of color into the industry. But I don't know what the historic legacy figures into that, imbalance here. What I do know is that here, compared to other places here in the Philadelphia region, it's so vastly imbalanced.
We're talking with Dr. Ira Goldstein. He, along with Councilwoman Sherelle Parker, as well as Gregory Squires, co-authored a piece that found that home appraisals drive America's racial wealth gap. So did you look at the behaviors of the appraisers, and what did you find in terms of bias and its role in appraising these homes?
Yeah, so there are a number of studies that have been done across the country in the last couple of years, actually. A few of them reasonably well known, one by a scholar at Brookings Institution and another an academic, that have shown in their way that they believe that there is this sort of systematic bias in the valuing of property owned by black people and in black and brown neighborhoods. There's been some other research on the other side of the spectrum that folks at American Enterprise Institute, which is more right-leaning than some of the others, they're showing that there is no bias no systematic bias in it. What I can say is that over the years, and I spent a number of years working in the fair housing portion of Housing and Urban Development, which enforces the Federal Fair Housing Act. And we used to get complaints of bias in appraisal. And what I would ordinarily do is just immediately go out and get several blind appraisals done on the same property that was the subject of the alleged bias in the appraisal value. And what you would find is oftentimes, a little bit of variation between them. A few percentage points in the valuing of property is generally not considered a big deal given the inexactness of the science. On the other hand, sometimes you would find a difference, and in that difference you would typically find that the selection of properties used by the appraiser in establishing the value was biased towards, let's say, lower value properties. And what that does is it brings down the appraised value of the property. Or perhaps the adjustments that they made to those comparable properties were more severe. So in other words, we have two row houses, and one is the subject of the appraiser, the other one is one of the comparables for that appraisal. And the adjustments for quality or size or other things like that are very severe, again, bringing down the value of the comparable. Or
okay, so wait a minute, because I know people don't know what you're talking about. So we want to go back a little bit and talk about what comparables are. They're called comps. What are they, and how do they function in terms of how people, how appraisers determine the value of a house?
Sure. So when an appraisal is done, they take what they call the subject property, and that's the property that is going to be appraised, and they basically take a look at that property and figure out all of its characteristics. Then what appraisers will do is typically they will look for houses within about a half-mile radius, and that's sold within about the last 6 months or so. And what they'll do is they'll pick three typically that look as much like the subject property as they possibly can, because those other properties that's sold in that close distance and in that reasonably similar time frame help establish the value of that subject property. So those are those three other properties close by and selling in recent time are what's known as the comps.
Okay.
When the appraiser looks at those comps, he or she may say, well, my subject property has 1,200 square feet. My comparable property has 1,300 square feet, so we need to lower that comp, the value of that extra 100 square feet. And, where sometimes bias will slip in is how severe those adjustments are made. Or, and I don't want to get too into the weeds here, or that appraiser may select properties consciously or unconsciously that have lower values than other available comparables, which thereby lower the value of the subject property.
Okay. And so I'm still trying to get to the wealth gap part of it. So if, in fact, you take a house that's in a white neighborhood and you give it a higher value because it's in a white neighborhood than you do in a black neighborhood, how does that affect the wealth gap between the white community and the black community?
Sure. For most people, their homes are the single asset that they have that helps them establish what people sometimes call intergenerational wealth. If I continuously downgrade the value of property in black neighborhoods compared to whites, those property values don't rise. That asset that is the source of your wealth never rises to the same extent in the black neighborhood as it does in the white neighborhood. And that's how you get to that. That's how you sort of facilitate and foster an increasing wealth gap between people who live particularly in black neighborhoods or black people and people who live in white neighborhoods and white people.
Mm-hmm. So we know that there's a long history of devaluing property in black neighborhoods. We know that there was a whole effort by the those who sold houses to, as soon as a black person moved in, tell everybody on the block, you have to sell your house, your property values are going to go down. And the government, helped in that effort. So how do we now turn around years of that through this appraisal process that you're telling us about?
Yeah, and I agree 100% with your sort of setting the stage here. We have decades of practices that, you know, overtly or covertly disadvantaged black neighborhoods and black people. In 1968, with the passage of the Federal Fair Housing Act, that was made illegal, but it didn't necessarily stop at that point, and it's not necessarily stopped at this point. My sense is that the appraiser problem is one of several. I think we've made some headway in the lending side of things, although we haven't solved that problem as it relates to race. I think we've made a lot of progress in the real estate sales side, although that hasn't necessarily, you know, been completely solved. In essence, what we think is that there are a number of ways that these biases and that these differences can sort of come to play and end up being manifested in value. And I think also it's people like us who buy houses, white people, black people, brown people, et cetera. You know, are we as willing and happy about buying properties in, you know, any neighborhood as long as that property and the things around it provide what I want? I need a good school, I need access to transportation, et cetera. All of those things play into it, and that we should not, you know, individuals as well as those different parts of the industry should not favor a neighborhood because it's black or white. And in fact, and I'll say this one last thing, in fact, the legislature that passed the Federal Fair Housing Act was very clear in its intentions with that Federal Fair Housing Act that, you know, that an integrated community is an ideal and something to be strived for, and people need to make those decisions. I think that that is part and parcel of what they want in a home. Once you open up demand in all neighborhoods and make it available, you should see an equalization of prices.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this very quickly, because Councilwoman Parker is going to join us as well. I do want to ask the comparable houses. Do they decide what comparable houses they're going to choose? Do they decide that? Do they go in person, or can they do that online? Like, how do they do that? Is it online or in person?
In today's world, on a typical house, as opposed to something that's, you know, extraordinarily unique, a typical house will be done typically online, and in fact now there are automated systems that do these things, but I would say the preponderance are done using online searches, particularly about the comparables. There may be a drive-by to look at sort of the external conditions of those comparables.
Got it. Okay. Councilwoman Parker, Sherelle, good morning. Councilwoman Parker, good morning. I can't hear her, Kawesa.
Hello?
Oh, hello. How are you?
Hey, I was disconnected, Solomon. How you doing? Hi, Kawesa.
I'm doing well. Doing well. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing well, and I'm just sitting here. Every time I hear Dr. Ira Goldstein from TRS speak, he always gives us a great education. Absolutely.
So why did you think it was important to look at the race of the appraisers and how that was impacting the valuation of houses in our community?
So, Solomon, Dr. Ira Goldstein and I have a relationship that goes back to the time when I was a staffer in City Council with Councilwoman Tasco, and you'll remember that we defined an issue called predatory lending. And that was when folks were getting mortgages without regards to their ability to pay them back, the credit scoring, along with the points that were on it. So we had long worked together on home preservation and trying to promote home ownership across the city, particularly in black and brown communities. And for me, Solomon, you know, full disclosure, I get connected to the issue because of an article that I read. It was about a family in Marion, California, and they purchased their home. They added an entire floor. I think it was about 1,000 square feet. Spent about $400,000 on renovating their home. And listen, it appraised for $989,000. That was only $100,000 more than what they had it appraised. And listen, this was despite them adding $400,000 into the home. So this is a biracial couple. so the African American woman who is a part of this marriage, she says, now, wait a minute. I'm going to try something here. The wife's name was Tanisha. Her husband is Paul. She says, Paul, I'm going to swap everything out of this house, indicating that the house was owned by anybody who was black. That means she took out their pictures, artwork, anything that would reflect black culture. And then she had her white girlfriend pretend that she was actually herself. And guess what, Solomon? This time, the appraisal came back at $1,482,000. That change represented a 50% increase in the value of that property.
Wow.
So Solomon, when we hear about Dr. Ira Goldstein's research, because he also worked with us on reverse mortgages, that's sort of kind of our sweet spot, Vernon Road, our commercial quarters. He's been greatly involved in home preservation and equity and value. And I say, here we go once again, just like the reverse mortgages, with people using systemic strategies, to take equity and value away from black and brown people, especially when our home ownership, that's been the way we've built wealth, Solomon, not for stock. I mean, maybe that's standard operating procedure for other people, but my grandmother bought a house, and that was the biggest, purchase and the most value tool that she and my grandfather had. And so this is something worthy of our research.
Well, let me ask you this. In terms of the appraisal of our houses, it's a double-edged sword. So if our house is appraised higher, the city puts a higher value on them, our taxes go up. So how do you find the balance between the two?
Well, Solomon, I would argue this. I'm always going to be for the increase in value, because increase in value is an increase in the value of your asset. And in no way, shape, or form do we want anyone undervaluing the value of what continues to appreciate. You know how we go, we buy a car, as soon as we drive it, off the lot, the value decreases immediately. But with a home, it increases. And so, yes, your taxes may increase depending on where you are and when the value of your house increases, but that's not the focus and intention of the research and or our efforts. When we host this hearing in City Council, we're going to use Dr. Goldstein and all of the other academicians and researchers who've worked on this issue to dig deep, to find out how entrenched this trend is that we're seeing, where not only Dr. Goldstein told us that 95% of the Philadelphia appraisers were white, but we want to see in Philadelphia specifically, can we prove that black homeowners have had the value of their properties sort of decrease because of bias and systemic racism? And if so, is there a legislative remedy that's intergovernmental? The hearing starts here, but it's going to have to involve the state. And I heard Dr. Goldstein reference the Federal Fair Housing Act. We'll have to also, attempt to secure the support of our congressional delegation on this issue. But, Solomon, if somebody ever wanted to come to me to tell me, Sherelle, there's a problem in Philadelphia, the value of black people's homes are just are going up so much, the first thing I would say is, stop. That's what I want to see happen. What we have to do is come up with other remedies to ensure that long-term owner-occupants get access to programs like LOOP that we have here in the city of Philadelphia, so that when the assessment comes back, the value of their properties, quadruples, that we are able to put a freeze, on that. But I'm never going to complain about that, Solomon. I'm sorry.
All right. Okay, I hear you. We just need more money then, so we can pay them taxes. So we appreciate both of you. Dr. Ira Goldstein, Councilwoman Sherelle Parker, thank you so much for joining us this morning on WURD.
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Recovery starts with a call. Pennsylvania's Substance Use Disorder Hotline is staffed by real people who are trained to help. They're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They'll get you or your loved one into treatment regardless of your access to insurance. If you or someone you know is suffering from addiction, call 1-800-662-HELP. Recovery starts with a call.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
WURD Radio celebrates Women's History Month with the 2021 Level Up Contest. Join us as we embark on a 3-city contest that will highlight Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in their communities. You can nominate yourself or your favorite Black woman-owned business and enter to win a marketing campaign valued at $5,000. Level Up is a joint production of WURD Radio in Philadelphia, WVON in Chicago, and KJLH in Los Angeles. These 3 Black-owned stations are joining forces to host a historic, interactive, and multimedia contest spotlighting Black women-owned businesses in Philly, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Philadelphia finalists will be featured in a special 2-hour live on-air pitch party on March 31st, where the Philadelphia winner will be selected. Go to wordradio.com and click on the Level Up banner for more information or to nominate yourself or a Black woman-owned business you love.
Breaking news.
There's still time.
WURD Radio has extended the deadline for the 2021 Level Up contest until March 19th. If you have a favorite Black woman-owned business or are one yourself, visit wordradio.com and click on the Level Up banner. You can nominate your own business or one that you love. And stay tuned to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Brought to you by Bank of America, Comcast, Pico, Keystone First, Thomas Jefferson University, and Jefferson Health. Now, a traffic update
on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Looking at 95 southbound, that's jam right. Cotman down through Bridge again. Betsy Ross through Girard. North outside looks pretty good through the city. Westbound Vine, 95 out to Broadigan Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. You're slow. Schuylkill westbound University through South. Delays heavy city out to Belmont eastbound. 202 to Gulf Mills. Busy Gladwin to Belmont again to Boulevard in through Girard. Southbound Boulevard Route 1. You're busy from 9th Street down through Fox through construction. 55 northbound jamming. Deptford in the 42. Tax season can be a big headache if identity thieves steal personal info from your tax forms. LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK. For more traffic information, log on to SigAlert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
Now, a WURD weather update. Here's NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
A cloudy and chilly day today with a chance of some late afternoon scattered light showers, a high of 42 degrees. The chance of showers continues overnight tonight and into first thing Wednesday morning. 38 the low tomorrow, then mostly cloudy tomorrow afternoon and a bit milder, a high of 53. Back into the 50s on Thursday with cloudy skies and a soaking rain that arrives Thursday morning and continues through the day into Thursday night. I'm NBC 10 First Alert meteorologist Bill Henley.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio,
96.1 FM
and 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. And I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. We're, of course, taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. And just a really interesting conversation with Dr. Ira Goldstein and Councilwoman Sherelle Parker about the fact that 95% of the appraisers are white, and they are undervaluing our houses. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, they get us coming and going. And, you know, I do agree with her. I think that, you know, property value is extremely important because that is how we build our wealth. That's how most Americans build their wealth. They build it, you know, through their homes. And I got to admit, we are constantly watching, you know, the value of our property in this city and, you know, trying to gauge, you know, where we are in terms of building wealth. And it is absolutely tied up in property values, man. And the fact that you would have these people who would, you know, undervalue your home because you're black is deep. Kawesa, what do you think?
Yeah, it is deep. I mean, I don't know. I was, you know, listening to the conversation, and it just like made me feel like, you know, man, we can't catch no breaks. Like none at all. It's like racism is at every single turn, and I'm like, what is this? Like, and you know, I'm in the market for a house. I've been looking, you know, and so it does give me some level of concern that, you know, possibly depending on where I move to, the value of my house could be lower because of the fact that I might be in, you know, a black or brown neighborhood. But, you know, I would like to be in a neighborhood that's, you know, diverse. I don't want to just, you know, segregate myself into one spot or feel like I have to move to a white neighborhood and be super uncomfortable just because the value of my house might be worth more. And so it really is a tough situation. And I don't know. It's upsetting, I think, a little bit because it's like we can't get away from this, and I don't know how. I mean, and maybe just doing what you know, Councilmember Parker said, and that is, you know, if someone is coming into your home, you know, make sure you take down, you know, any semblance of your race. Like, you shouldn't have to do that. Like, but that's what people are doing. And there's been numerous articles about things like that happening. And, you know, when they took down those pictures of their beautiful black family, guess what? The cost of their house went up as opposed to it going down. So it's frustrating.
It is frustrating. And I think, you know, now they do it a number of ways. When sometimes they'll do a drive-by. They'll look at the front of the house. They'll look at the back of the house. They don't necessarily come in, right? And that, I think, is dependent on, you know, whether you're just trying to get insurance or whether you're actually selling the house or what, right? I know the city, when they did their new assessments, they had somebody, you know, drive by and look at the front of the house, look at the back of the house. They never came in. And so I think it depends on, you know, what they're doing the appraisal for. If you are in the process of selling the house, though, they're going to come in that house and they're going to look around and, you know, look at your appliances and your systems and everything else. But if it's for insurance or if it's for the city doing assessment, I think they do it differently. And so it just depends, man. But the fact that you have people undervaluing you know, our houses, man, that literally, like with the stroke of the pen, steals wealth. Victor from Philly is on line one. Go ahead.
Hello, Solomon. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. This is a very, very interesting topic, especially me being a realtor. And I go through that with every appraisal. They already make up their mind before, as they're riding through the neighborhood. And I don't care if you have comps or not. I think basically it's tied into this gentrification.
Okay.
And it all works hand in hand with that, trying to undervalue your property so you get disappointed and either sell it cheaper or not be able to get a mortgage or to actually be able to purchase a property. Because I have some people, they'll go in, they'll set the appraisal so low that they can't even get the mortgage now unless they do a bunch of stuff. I mean, sometimes these guys come in, they're not even in the house for 5 minutes. And when the appraisal comes back, it's a long list of stuff he'd even look at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's definitely a problem.
Now, when the
And
appraisers come in, you're in the realtor. You're a realtor,
Right.
and so you see the appraisers when they come in.
Yes, sir.
So are any of them black?
I've had one black one, but
Out of
normally
how many?
it's all white.
Yeah.
Out of, I'd say, I mean, and I can speak for in my office, I'll say 1 out of 20 will be a black appraiser.
Wow.
And I've even heard stories of guys trying to get into that field and get blocked. You know, so it's not no program to bring minorities into that field. You know, I mean, it's really ridiculous, and something really needs to be done about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Victor. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD, man. And this is something you wouldn't even really think about. You know what I'm saying, Kawesa? You wouldn't think about, you know, the appraiser. The appraiser is coming in and he's undervaluing your house because you're black. You don't even think about that. Like, you know, we bought, you know, property, and in terms of the appraiser, you like, okay, well, they're gonna come in, they're gonna appraise the value, you know, and we'll move on. But no, and here's the other deep thing, right? When you start to look yourself at how much properties have sold for in your neighborhood, you can come up with your own value, for real. I mean, you know, they'll try to base, you know, what you're going to sell it for, you know, based on what the appraiser says, but you can look at it in your own community, how much are properties selling for. You can go on a site like Redfin and see, you know, what the valuation of your house is based on recent sales, and kind of know how to gauge it, you know, in comparison to what the appraiser might say when he comes in or she comes in, right? And so you just got to watch that, man, because they will try to undervalue your house. Lynn from Darby is online too. Go ahead, Lynn.
Good morning, WURD family. Solomon and Kawesa. Solomon, you are absolutely right. I like Kawesa and looking for another home, and it's taken a long time. And I live in one of the best neighborhoods in Darby. We have good neighbors. We got some bad elements that we're working on, and we have some good people, and we got some of those good old boys. They just sit strong and steadfast with their bad ways. But you know, we're going to avoid them. Now, I would advise people, especially with your homeowner's insurance, to have the other people come in and appraise the thing you're trying to get fixed, because I've been here over 30 years, and each and every time I get something fixed, I think you call them an appraiser. I use a company called H. I think they're out of business now, where they come in and they tell you, and each and every time they got me much more money from my homeowners. My homeowners, they offered me something that was lower than what I had the guy come in and say, no, because of this, that, and the other thing. And another thing, I know I live in some hot property. I'm around all transportation, going to Center City, going out to the deeper suburbs, and I know it's a hot property. And Solomon, if they didn't want our property and they undervalue it, they really do, why would we keep having these text messages, things in the mail, on the phone, like, I'm willing to buy your property, I'm willing to buy your property. So I know it's something to that, and I know they're trying to genderify it too. So you know what? A house is something that is your best asset to own. So people, just try to own a house. I'm going to stay here and fix it up, and then I'm going to move when I'm ready, because although the interest rates are low, they are up in the ante on the prices of houses, and that's another way they get you too. But I like what you said. Figure out your own price, because that's what I'm going to do. And as far as the virus goes, if the Trump people don't want to get it, everybody has their own right to feel a certain way, even if they weren't Trump people. I'm just going to stay away from you. But don't make him no poster child for get the virus. He needs to go to jail. and pay for his sins. That's all to it. And everybody have a blessed, happy day. Take care, Solomon. You and Kuwait are doing the best job ever.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. Let's go back to the phone lines, 215-634-8065, and talk to Winona from Jersey on line 3. Go ahead, Winona.
Hey, good morning, Solomon.
Good morning.
I just wanted to chime in on the appraisals. I am a realtor over here in South Jersey, and Victor was on point. I have never seen, he's fortunate, I've never seen a black appraiser, ever, never. But what I tend to do now in this market, because it is a seller's market, is when I go out with my clients, I do pull, like the guy you had come on, I forget his name, but when he talked about they use a half-a-mile radius and they look at what has sold in the last 6 months, I do that, and I pull the comps that support what my clients, want, the value of the house, and I go and show up and make sure they use those comps.
I know that's right. You know what, and it's funny because we had a realtor who did that. She had her own comps.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so we didn't have to depend just specifically on the appraiser. So you can have kind of an impact on what the appraiser does as the realtor by saying, no, compare it to these.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that. All right, have a great day and keep up what you're doing. Bye.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. We're going to go to break on the other side. We're going to continue the conversation right here on WURD. Diane from South Philly, you're next if you want to get in. It's 215-634-8065. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Small business owners are navigating an evolving small business landscape brought on by coronavirus. However, their resilience is reflected in Bank of America's 2020 Small Business Owner Report, a nationwide survey on 1,000 small business owners, which found that nearly 1/4 of small business owners took steps in 2020 to retool their offerings and/or leverage their resources to support relief efforts in their communities. While many saw an impact in their bottom line last year, small business owners anticipate a strong post-pandemic environment, and 79% believe small businesses will return to be the backbone of the U.S. economy. Inspired by the small business owners facing unprecedented challenges, Bank of America continues their commitment to help small business owners in Philadelphia with the necessary resources to sustain and grow. For more information, visit bankofamerica.com. Are you looking for a job? Do you have skills in design, engineering, or computer programming? Get ready for Network, a virtual job fair with Technically Media. On Thursday, March 18th from noon to 6 p.m., the employers at Network are looking to learn more than just what's on your resume. Your personality and fit have real weight in the interviews. Technically is a partner of WURD Radio's Livelihood Initiative. Register for Network, the virtual tech job fair taking place on March 18th at WURDworks.com.
Back by popular demand.
It's Wake Up with Word, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD Kuwait. I'm still tripping off this appraisal thing, man, with homes. I really am.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. And just like what Victor was saying, when he called in talking about gentrification, Lynn mentioned the same thing, but it really is happening. You go to a black neighbor. So for instance, I'm, in the Willingboro area, right? That's a predominantly black neighborhood. And people are doing well over there. It's like, middle class, folks, but a lot of it's really more of a black neighborhood now. Originally it wasn't. It was first created for white folks, Levittown. Levitt went in there and he did stuff. Anyway, so I'm not going to go into all that. But what I am going to say, though, is that a lot of the property values have kind of gone down, and then what we are starting to see is that a lot of white folks are moving, and I'm like, well, how is that happening? And they're over here just buying up property left and right because the cost of the houses have gone down. And this is a neighborhood that's right off of like the main road, so like Route 130, 295. You can hit the turnpike. You can get right over into Philly. Like, it has easy access to all these spots, and that main road has all of the shop. Like, it's a prime real estate area. And so when you really think about how deep this goes, it really goes deep into the fact that, and maybe oh my gosh, I don't want to go all the way off the rails here, but I really do feel in my bones that it's a much deeper issue. And then when you drive down those values of the houses, and then you have white people who come in, and then they start to gentrify, and then the price of the houses go up.
Yeah, they do.
You move black folks out, and then we're it's so frustrating.
Yeah, it's deep, man. It is so deep because and my wife is like texting me about this. She's we have her and my neighbor are the co-block captains, do a great job of really keeping the block up, keeping the block together. And, one of our concerns is that, our neighbors, all of us, we all have to keep our property up. You know what I mean? Because that's what, what I do with my property can have an impact on the value of your property and vice versa. Because they're comparing the houses. Okay, this house is comparable to that one, so if I sell my house and I undersell it, right, I sell it for a lower value than it should be, then that impacts the value of your house. If I can't get the money that I need to get for my house because your house is run down and you're not taking care of your property like you could or like you should, then that impacts the value of my house. Like, all of us depend on each other, and you have to have realtors, black realtors, who are willing to advocate for our folks, because the appraisers are all white, and they coming in undervaluing our houses. I love what Winona said, and it reminded me so much of the most recent realtor that we had. She said she come in with her own comps. Her own comparable houses. That's what comps are, right? These are houses that are close by that sold in this community, and this is how much they were worth. She come in with her own comps because the appraiser is going to come in and undervalue the house. It is so deep, man. This is such a deep thing, because this is how we build our wealth, and they got levels within these systems, man, that keep us at a deficit. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. Let's talk to Diane from South Philly on line 1. Go ahead, Diane.
Solomon, good morning.
Good morning.
Right now they're listening to me because my dentist, Dr. Eric Williams, I heard you on the radio. I said, that's right, because when Solomon brings up the topic, we call in and we put our view and point to it. My niece is a realtor. I had never seen a black appraiser since I've been working with her. And number two, the next thing they're doing, and they had done it in my block, they took a 3-story house and they're trying to convert it into a condominium. That's a no-no. For one thing, it makes the whole market value of that neighborhood goes up and taxes. Then you have property that you're selling each floor for $250,000, and the person only bought their house for $234,000. That's the profit that he made. And another thing, when we got the stimulus check, I hope our young people took that money and put it aside to put down on a house. The housing is our future for our next generation.
That's right.
And another thing, when you get a house, look into separating your property tax from your mortgage. Because when your property tax goes up, your mortgage goes up, and your mortgage goes up, your property tax goes too. And if you're 65, you better look into the tax program for your water, the rebatement, and also you're 65, you get another rebate also there too. And so many programs out here. But young people buy a house, and I want them to stop calling my daughter about her house, all the way from Atlanta. It's hot. It's terrible, but we need to think big. We need to think about homes that are history. I've been in my house for 55 years. This is my history. That's all I know. And I want to say happy birthday to my mother. She would have been 96 today, and she gave me this house, and I'm keeping it for Sugar Lady. Keep it real sound and keep it black. I love you all.
Thank you. Love you back. Love you back. You know, this property, man, you know, there is a lineage to it. And, you know, we have to make sure that we, A, take care of it, but B, even if we do end up selling the property, that we recognize that, you know, our ancestors' hard work went into that, man, that they had to sacrifice and struggle to get that. And we have to take care of and pass down the wealth that we have. That's what it's for. That's what it's for. Like, it's not, you know, for us to just squander. You know what I mean? That's why our ancestors worked so hard and went through so much just to get anything. And here's the deep thing. You think we got it hard. Think about the people who came before us, man. The stuff they had to go through. And we still, in 2021, are dealing with another level of this system that is meant to keep black people from attaining wealth. All white appraisers coming in and deciding from the jump, oh, we're going to undervalue this house because black people live in it. I'm going to go back to the phone lines. Nadine from Foldcroft is online too. Go ahead, Nadine.
Yes. What you're talking about is what we're living. In Highland Gardens, first it was all white. Black people couldn't even walk through it. Now, when the blacks started buying the houses, now what they're doing is, or I think our mayor did a deal, and well, I'm from Chester, but I'm working in Forecroft. He made a deal, and now we have Mexicans and El Salvador that have came up. And what they're doing is, anybody that had Section 8 and didn't own, they told them they had 30 days.
Yeah.
So now it's just mostly Mexicans, except for the senior citizens that brought home. And the property value had went down when it was all black. Now they have put the property value up, like saying a couple of thousand. But what we're thinking that what's going on is it's easier to get them out than it is to get some of the black people, because I think the white people want to come back because it's access, like they say, right to the highway, right to the waterfront. And the problem is a lot of the culture with the Mexicans in El Salvador, that we're having a problem with them, with the, you know, the loud music and firecrackers all the time tonight, and the cops doesn't do anything. So, but that gentrification, you're right, because it's like a lot of the black people have moved out of the city of Chester, and they're moving, you know, the surrounding area. So that's what I wanted to talk about.
All right. All right. Well, I want to thank you for sharing that this morning on WURD. Radio. If you want to get in, it's 215-634-8065. Let's talk to Gary from Roxborough on line 3. Go ahead, Gary.
Good morning, Word family.
Good morning, brother.
Solomon, Sister Quaker. Do you think maybe we need to form a committee that we look into a little deeper and maybe buy some of the properties in our neighborhood so we can have some sort of say-so of who gets them and how we let this situation work for us instead of working against us?
No, I think that's fine. I think you have to find people that, you trust, who you can work with financially and certainly do that. I think you have to make sure that all your paperwork is straight in terms of who gets what, who's responsible for what. I think you have to have a lawyer involved if you want to do something like that. But, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I do.
Thanks for letting me share.
All right, Gary, I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD. Jennifer from Philly is on line 4. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Good morning, Solomon. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for allowing me to be on. I'm a real estate broker in Philly for the last 20 years, and I have seen a lot of changes that are happening in the city. I live in West Philly.
Okay.
And I don't want to be all over the place, but I just want to say, as far as appraising in Philadelphia is definitely, and across the country, is definitely an issue. And the issue is that appraisers are people. And that's what people have to understand. Appraiser is not something. Appraiser is an individual that comes to your neighborhood with a certain mentality. Yes, they have standards that they have to adhere to on paper. But when they drive down your block and they see trash in the ground, before they get to your house, they're already forming an opinion about the value of your property. If they see your neighborhood on the nightly news that somebody just got shot and they have to go do an appraisal over there, go in there with this information subconsciously. And so, but at the same time, as far as appraisers, I want the public to understand. I have people saying, oh, being an appraiser is just like a real estate agent. It's not true. If you want to be an appraiser, all right, and this is the key thing, get your pad and pencil. You have to go to school, do a certain number of classes, but you also have to have someone who will take you in as an apprentice. And I had a gentleman who passed away. He fought for his appraiser license. I went to real estate school with him in 1997. All he ever wanted to be was an appraiser. And he fought for that license. They fought against him to get this appraisal license, and he died. And I don't know if he ever got the license, but he told me he had to go to Harrisburg, sit in front of the commissioner, and all of this, and it was just a battle for him to get that appraiser's license.
And was he black?
Of course.
Yeah, so he was black, and they did everything they could to keep him out of being an appraiser?
I can't say that, all right? All I
Why
can
did he?
say that
So how long does it typically take to become an appraiser? Do you know?
I don't know, because the way that appraiser licensing works is you have to have a certain number of hours or a certain number of appraisals that you complete in order to get that license. The only thing I can say that I know from him directly is that he completed all of the requirements, and it took him years before he got that license. And when I looked up his license after he passed, because I asked his family if he ever got the license, but they didn't reply. But it looked like he did have a license at some point. But I know they fought tooth and nail against him getting that license. And he's not here to speak for himself today, but I can tell you they did not want to give this guy his license. Yeah. So the other issue is that if you know that a certain percentage of appraisers are of a certain position, those are the people who have to apprentice a new appraiser. So check the science.
So they have to be apprenticed by somebody. So if it's no black people in it, then they have to find a white appraiser who is willing to apprentice them.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Wow. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to talk with Roxanne Jones about some of the things that are going on nationally. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
We do all we can to ensure our kids are happy, healthy, safe, and strong. Having high-quality, low-cost health insurance helps make that possible. With CHIP, your child can have medical, dental, eye care, and more for free or low cost. Whether you're self-employed, unemployed, or your employee benefits are just too expensive, CHIP is there for you to help your child be strong. CHIP Strong. Apply or renew today at 800-986-KIDS or go to chipcoverspakids.com.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Olaniyan Adefume, author of the Book of Questions, needs your help. He is seeking out responses for an updated version of the Book of Questions Series 2. The topics of the book cover issues of religion, race, sex, economics, politics, and health. One example would be, what do you think of the Capitol riot of January 6, 2021? For more information, reach out to him directly at 215-678-3830 or email him at oadefumi@yahoo.com.
It's Women's History Month, and we want to honor Black women authors by helping you level up and read up. Join the onWURD movement and get a free copy of a book from one of the most influential Black women today. For a limited time, you can add The Little Book of Big Lies by Tina Lifford, She Came to Slay by Erica Dunbar, Sing Unburied Sing, a novel by Jesmyn Ward, or Acts of Faith by Iyanla Vanzant to your reading collection. Level up and read up. Go to wordradio.com/join now to join or renew your onWURD membership and get your free book today.
This is WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD Philadelphia.
Black Talk Media.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD Radio. And we want to hear from you. Give us a call at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. As we await our guest, we're going to take your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. We're talking about a number of things, including our top three stories, which are story number one, the Biden administration so desperate to get Trump voters to take the vaccine that they're seeking Trump's help in promoting the vaccine to his supporters. Story number two, more than 4,000 unaccompanied migrant children are in Border Patrol custody, and it is quickly becoming a crisis. Story number three, federal authorities have charged a Pennsylvania man and a West Virginia man with assaulting Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick during the January 6th riot in Washington, but they've stopped short of accusing him of causing the officer's death. We had an interesting conversation a little earlier in the show with Councilwoman Sherelle Parker and Dr. Ira Goldstein about the fact that 95% of the appraisers in Philadelphia are white. These are the people who determine the value of your home, and they are undervaluing homes in black communities. And we have heard an earful from many of you, those of you who are realtors, those of you who have bought homes, those of you who are selling homes, about the accuracy of that report. And the deep thing, and I asked this question a little bit earlier, are they doing things to keep black people out of the appraisal industry? And some of the anecdotal evidence that we've heard from our callers is yes. Specifically, the last woman that we talked to that talked about this man who wanted to be an appraiser, and they fought against him tooth and nail to keep him from doing that. Man, you know, just creating just these diabolical systems to keep black people from obtaining wealth, even in the value of our homes. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. Jennifer from Philly is on line 4. Go ahead, Jennifer. Is Jennifer not on the line? Okay, we're going to take her off. And we'll take your Facebook comments because I know y'all got a whole lot to say. At onWURD, FORWURD, that's FORWURD. That is where you can weigh in. You can also watch us there. And let us know what you think about these various topics we are talking about on this morning's show. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
Craig Williams is saying, I get a steady stream of solicitations for my primary residence as well as my parents' former home in Germantown, always offering to pay cash. So that's one comment. And that's the other thing, too. Like, you know, if you're a regular, like, only because I'm in it, I'm dealing with this now. But, you know, if you are trying to go out and purchase property, you can't compete with these folks who have cold, hard cash and are ready to, you know, put that down on a property. You just can't. And so, you know, a lot of people are dealing with this stuff left and right. Linda Shields said, I told the people bugging me I'll take $1 million from my house and throw in a rich boyfriend and we got a deal. So, oh my goodness, that's another comment that we have here. And then also Juanita Bryant, good morning to you. And then Craig Williams says, actually in response, he says, absent a cash offer of $1 million, I ain't selling. So, yeah, no, don't sell. Because, yeah, you know, you have folks who are going to really, you know, make profit off of your property. And a lot of these folks are buying up the property. And, you know, just like what I think it was Diane was saying that they were turning, you know, some of the places into condominiums. Like they're looking at, you know, trying to really turn over a profit for these properties. And it's like, no, you know, keep that money in the community, keep it with you and your family. Zen Motley, the church there's a church on the corner, and its members need to gather all the property that they can afford. Amen, Word family, and it's also saying good morning. And then Tia Dreyer is saying, if 95% of the appraisers are white, then what race is the remaining 5%? It's actually a good question. So we can look into that and try to get some additional information on that. And then we also have Gary Q. Hines is checking us out this morning. And also, I'm just trying to pull up everyone here. I think I might have got everybody. Juanita Bryant is also checking us out. I think I might have mentioned her name as well. But Annetta McQuilla, thank you so much for checking in and saying hey on the timeline here. And yep, so those are all the comments that I can see as of right now.
All right. I got you. 215-634-8065 is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065 is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. So we've had some time to think about it, Kawesa. You still don't want Trump to tell his people to take the vaccine?
No. No. There's this black preacher, and it was like circulating a few years ago, and he has this song. It's like, hell no to the no, to hell no. Like, no. Seriously. No.
Yeah, it's, you know, you can't give him a platform to say anything, man. You can't.
You can't.
He has shown that he does not care what he says. And just insanely crazy stuff. You know, these lies that are like, wow, you really, dude, you know we just saw on video that you said this, and now you telling us that you didn't say it, but we can play the video right next to you not saying that you didn't say it. Like, this dude, I mean, I've never seen anybody willing to publicly lie in the way that he has. I've never seen it in my life. Like where you can put the video next to him to show that it is a lie. This is what you said yesterday, and this is what you saying today, and you just lying. And it's like, nah, you can't have him speak up on anything, man. I don't want him saying anything. Take him off TV, take him off Twitter, take him off Facebook, take him off Instagram. Just take him off. Because he's like, they say Satan is the father of lies. Well, he must be the nephew or something, because this dude, I've never seen anything like it in my life. And I've known some liars. This dude has, he's taken it to a whole other level. So we want to hear from you. Give us a call. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. The other thing I want to ask you about is the crisis with the unaccompanied children at the border. Like, what's the answer to that? What do you do about that, right? So we know that the Trump administration had them in cages, did everything that they could to separate families. Like, they did all kinds of stuff. But what's the right answer? So I know, AOC came out like, oh, we should never have children in cages. And, that's always the wrong answer. And it's wrong no matter who does it. And, she's right. It's wrong. But what do? What is the answer? You know what I mean? Everybody's saying what's not. So what is? What do you do to deal with that kind of situation, man, where you've got kids who are coming here unaccompanied? Okay, so you detain them, but then what? What do? How do you fix it? What rules do you put in place? Right? You had the last administration. We're going to put up a wall, which is just silly, right? Because this is not the 1500s, man. People bring stuff in here on planes. They bring it in on trucks. They bring it in submarines. The drug cartels have custom-made submarines to bring in their drugs and whatever other contraband they're selling here in America, including people. And so, the wall is stupid. So what do you do, though? What do you do? I want to know what you think. Give me a call. 215-634-8065 is the number. And we're also talking about one other thing. Federal authorities have charged a Pennsylvania man and a West Virginia man with assaulting Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick during the January 6th riot in Washington, but they stopped short of accusing him of causing the officer's death. So nobody's been charged with this cop's murder. That's not how it goes down in the hood, right? So, I'm looking at the treatment that these people are getting. It's like 8,000 people were there. They've charged, over 300 and probably will charge, 400 before it's said and done. But what about the rest of them? And are you going to charge the other people who are around when they sprayed Brian Sicknick with this stuff? Are they going to be accessories like you would do us? So we're talking about that. But the amazing thing that I think so many of us, man, can relate to and understand is this whole thing with these appraisers, the vast majority of them being white, right? And what do you do with that? Because they're undervaluing property in black neighborhoods. And in doing so, they are affecting black people's ability to build wealth. I want to hear from you. Give me a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. And let us know where you are in these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. 215-634-8065 is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Sister Murray from University Cities Online 1. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Solomon. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm doing well. You know, Solomon, when you're talking about the south of the border, I'm still trying to figure out, because I don't know, maybe you can help me out with this. How do you get 25 people in a Jeep. How do you get 13 people in a Jeep? Like, somebody did not get paid, and somebody just went crazy. I mean, you just run a whole tractor trailer through a Jeep with 25 people in it. How long has this been going on? How long? And you're right. What are they going to do with these kids? Now that they keep content, what are they going to do with them, Solomon? Have a blessed day.
All right, I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio, and we appreciate you giving us a call and weighing in on what we're talking about on this morning's show. So if you want to get in, it is 215-634-8065. You can also weigh in on Facebook at onWURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD, and let us know where you are in these various things we are talking about on this morning's show. 215-634-8065 or FORWURD. So, I'm looking at what's happening with people getting vaccinated in Philadelphia, and one of the things that I find interesting is that the Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium doing a very brisk vaccination process with people lining up around the corner. We passed by the Leah Core Center yesterday. People lined up around the corner. We passed by the FEMA site at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. People lined up around both corners, and so people are getting vaccinated, and that is what is going to allow us to get back to normal, as long as most people do that. But now the people who are saying that they don't want to get vaccinated are Trump supporters. And it's so interesting because Donald Trump himself got vaccinated, didn't tell anybody, in January in the White House, him and his wife. I'm going to take care of me, but I'm going to tell y'all all kind of lies to make y'all think that there's something wrong with wearing masks, to make y'all think that there's something wrong with getting vaccinated, to make y'all think that there's something wrong with trying to take care of your health. It is unreal that the Biden administration would even consider having this liar, right? And I can say that with confidence. That's not my opinion. That's a fact, right? Having this liar tell people, oh, you need to take the vaccine. He wouldn't even tell them when he took it. You know what I mean? Trying to gain some political advantage by keeping people split on a life and death issue. Here it is, over 500,000 people in America have died, and largely because of him. He can't say anything about this virus. And the deep thing is that they would even have to consider him because he's the only one these people listen to. It is unreal, Kawesa. It is unreal.
It is unreal. It really, really is. And just like for me, I guess it's from a sanity standpoint, I don't even know why that would creep into anyone's minds as far as utilizing this man who, like you said, lying from Jump Street. The man has been filled with lies. I mean, this is the same guy who told us to, use disinfectant, and sunlight and all this. And that's all lies. All lies. And you have all of these people who died because of his inability to properly be a leader of this country. And y'all are going to seriously consider, even just for a millisecond, I don't care if it was for a second, I can't even believe that y'all would even consider having this man use some platform to try to, get folks to get the vaccine. Like, no. Not at all. I mean, he was, out here saying that doctors were incorrect. This is what they went to school for. Yeah. And this man barely graduated from college. But you want him to somehow be a leader when he was never leading this country for the 4 years that he was here? Nah, man, no.
No. You can't give him a platform to say anything because, number one, he's going to use it to harm the country. He is. He'll say, okay, yeah, I took the vaccine in January, but now y'all need to go back to the Capitol and storm the Capitol again. Like, he'll do something like that. Like, you cannot give him a platform, man. This dude is he's harmful. He's harmful to the country, and that's an understatement. And if you don't believe it, look at the numbers, man. Over 500,000 people dead from this virus, and it did not have to be that way. It didn't. All he had to do was tell the truth. Look, this virus is dangerous, it's killing us, and these are the things that we have to do. But he refused to do that, man, and people are dead because of it. No, you can't let him say anything. But I want to remind you of what's happening with women and businesses and WURD, because WURD Radio celebrates Women's History Month with the 2021 Level Up Contest. You can join us as we embark on a 3-city contest that'll highlight Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in their communities. You can nominate yourself or your favorite Black woman-owned business and enter to win a marketing campaign valued at $5,000. The deadline for submissions has now been extended to March 19th. Philadelphia finalists will be featured in a special 2-hour live on-air pitch party on March 31st, where the Philadelphia winner will be selected. Go to wordradio.com and click on the Level Up banner for more information or to nominate yourself or a Black woman-owned business you love. So we're going to go to break. On the other side, it's what's trending, and then right back to your calls. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
The COVID-19 crisis has made it difficult for many students to get online. Over the last 10 years, Comcast has been dedicated to advancing digital equity and closing the digital divide. Now, they are working with their network of nonprofit partners and city leaders to create more than 1,000 Wi-Fi connected lift zones in community centers nationwide. Because students and their families need safe spaces to get online and access the resources they need to succeed in a digital world. Learn more at comcast.com/education.
Okay, Her's new fire potato chips and cheese curls, they are spicy. Whew, they're hottest snacks yet. Hold on. Whew. But it's not just heat. There's some nice sweet and savory stuff going on too. Ooh, there's that heat again. It burns, but it burns so tasty. Ooh, that's hot. Find Her's Fire Snacks at your store today. Whew. Taste the flavor, feel the heat, break out the Her's.
Need to replace your Social Security card? In most states, you can request one online with a My Social Security account. A My Social Security account gives you secure access to your personal earnings history and benefit status. You can also get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
You're waking up
with WURD.
Hosted by Solomon Jones.
Good morning.
Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
All circuits are busy.
Here's what's trending.
Yo, that's crazy.
On Wake Up with WURD.
Anita Baker has asked fans not to buy or stream her music. The Detroit-based icon posted on Twitter last week that she'd outlived all her recording contracts and that the right to her master should legally revert to her. Baker is referencing copyright reversion, which allows musicians to retain their copyrights after 35 years. However, the law doesn't mean that reversion is immediate or automatic.
And Demetrius Moore appreciated the most recent $1,400 stimulus check issued to help Americans, but the father of her youngest child thought she deserved half. When she only gave him some of the money and not half of it, Malik Halfacre came back and killed 4 members of her family. The family identified the dead as Moore's 7-year-old daughter, her brother, her mother, and her cousin. Lord, we are praying for that family.
We definitely are. And Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's WAP may have soared to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, but now the 5-time platinum tune has landed atop the hit list of angry parents due to their racy Grammy performance. Parents of young children watched in shock and horror. In response, a number of them turned to the FCC to lodge complaints against CBS. And that is what's trending.
That's what's trending right here on WURD Radio. I told you, Kuwaisa, she don't even let her own kids listen to her music.
Listen, though, that's what I'm saying. Like, watch what your kids are watching. Like, pay attention to what your kids are watching. That's not their
responsibility. But watch what they watch the Grammys, though. You know what I'm saying?
I will have to admit that I had went back, and so we've already had this discussion. I'm not a big fan of the song. I mean, I'm always about empowering women, though. And I will have to say, though, that the performance was actually not that bad, in my opinion. I know that's like really crazy, but I actually was like, okay, this is actually a pretty decent performance. I mean, you know, it was not appropriate for a child to be watching at all. But I didn't dislike the performance, but you know.
Well, I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it. All I saw was like a picture afterwards. And, you know, they had on like, from what I could see from the side, looked like, you know, something that like I guess a majorette would wear or something. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, the first part.
Like almost like a gymnast.
The first part was, yeah, I think, you know, Cardi was, I think, a little bit more clothed, and then she started taking off pieces of her outfit. Right. So, you know. I mean,
okay. Yeah. So, yeah. I didn't see it, so I can't comment on it. But, you know, it's one of those things, man. I want to know what you guys think. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That's the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. Just a tragedy, man, with this dude coming back and killing the mother of his child along with you know, 4 other members of the family. That's crazy, man. Over what, $700? Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is where we are.
It is. It's crazy. And I mean, I think, you know, and it's a tragic story. So many members of her family were killed. And from when I was reading the story, it sounds like he was already off. You know, he wasn't a decent human being in the first place. Yeah. And I'm not saying was in the past tense. He's still alive, but you know, he just his record didn't prove that, you know, he was a decent person. And so, you know, I guess the 2 biggest takeaways that I had from this is, you know, this is for not just women, but all folks in general. Like, you know, you need to really be careful about who you share your bed with, because you don't know, you know, how that could impact your life later on. But then also, you know, as we always, you know, joke about the stimulus and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, if you have some unsavory people in your life, don't tell them you got that check. That's none of their business. Keep that to yourself.
Amen. Stop telling people when you getting money, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. Please don't do that. I want to hear from you. 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Doris from Southwest is on line 1. Go ahead, Doris.
How you doing, Solomon?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. Those children, send them back. Send them back. We help other countries. We can try to help them to raise their own kids, but we can't feed our families here. We can't take on no more.
I don't know. America's the only country I've ever been where you got poor people who are actually, you know, overweight. So it doesn't look like a whole lot of us are missing a whole lot of meals. And I got to be, you know, I'm just being honest. But I hear you. So send them back to what, though? And send them back how?
How they came over here, across the border.
Okay. Tell them to walk back.
Okay. Well, what we going to do?
Okay.
We don't have nowhere to put them. Nobody going to take care of them. Maybe some people take them. But they're gonna keep doing this, Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump telling his people to take the vaccine. No. If enough of them start dying, we don't have to worry about it. They're going to make up their own mind and take the vaccine.
Ooh. Doris, you cold. Doris is cold this morning. All right, I hear you. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. And, you know, that's one point of view. I want to hear from you. Give us a call, 215-634-8065. Jay from Hunting Park is on line 3. Go ahead, Jay.
Hey, good morning, Solomon. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. I just wanted to comment on the Grammys, though, because, I just happened to wake up and wife was looking at it.
Just happened to? Okay.
Yeah, but I'm a music man. I love music.
Okay.
And as far as Megan Thee Stallion and Cardi B, I thought they put on a pretty good performance.
Okay.
It wasn't like they were using illicit language, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It was just dance moves.
Mm-hmm.
And should your kids be watching them? I guess no, but I was telling my wife, I said, the white girls eating this up. They like it because, not because they're white, because they're just women, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was pretty good. And
okay.
I thought Bruno Mars put on a pretty good, performance, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't put my music, moment in here, that's all.
All right. Love it. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. Let's go to Zaire from West Oak Lane on line 4. Go ahead, Zaire.
Good morning, Solomon.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why all these immigrants are trying to get to America, because America goes around destabilizing countries and then blame the people because they try to get out of that situation.
How about that?
Only way we're going to stop this, we got to address that. And so far as the appraisals, well, you always see the appraisals as part of the gentrification. When they go around and appraise your house for a real less, then all of a sudden the white people move in, and all of a sudden now it's a whole lot. There's money in it. That's the profit. But that's the problem.
All right. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. Of course, you can also weigh in on Facebook at onWURD. That's FORWURD, FORWURD. Let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. FORWURD. That's how you can weigh in on Facebook. Kawesa, what are they saying this morning on Facebook?
So we have a few comments here. I can't read all of them because y'all a little cold this morning. Okay. Okay. L. Campbell, good morning, Word family. Great conversation on our real estate. I really had to go at with this guy about buying my house, calling me, mailing me proposals from people wanting my property immediately. Well, first thing I asked him was, are you psychic? When can you deposit that $5 million in my account? He apologized to me and said he would not call or contact me again. Hashtag they crazy. So, yeah, that's one comment that we have on here. Rose Sawa is saying, SJ hilarious sometimes, and got the little laughing emojis there. Michelle Tulak Neal, good morning, Solomon, Kwesi, and Word family. I can take 2 of these children. Oh, there's so many of them that need help, though. I think that's the bigger issue that's there. But I hear you on that. And then Atia Hicks is saying that she agrees with Doris. Atia, I'm not gonna read the rest of your your comment here. And then Louise Wright says, "Good morning, everyone." Well, he signed it on. Wait, okay. I have to go back to that because I
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm trying to read it, but okay. Laura Elam says, Doris, I'll stop by when you're a little warmer, but your views. Your view is your voice, and I love it. So that's one comment that's there. Jerry Owen says, Grammys, Jennifer Lopez can do the same moves on stage, and nobody would say a word. As far as my kids, I probably wouldn't let them watch it. I hear you on that, because she's done, Jennifer's done some stuff too, but nobody really police. That's very interesting. People don't police her as much as they police, Cardi B and Meg. So I gotta. I got to give it to you on that one because sometimes there is a major difference in regards to how, other women's bodies are policed as opposed to black women's bodies. So I feel you on that. Tia Dreyer says, I'm all for Cardi and Meg, but I also thought their performances collectively and individually was a bit much for primetime television. I hear you on that. It was a little, it was a little racy. And then Zen Motley says, if you got one child in America hungry or homeless, fix that first. Yeah, I hear you on that too. So quite a few folks weighing in and commenting. I did see another comment. Anna McQuilla says, yeah, 45 aka dump is a piece of work, but God is in control. And then Patricia Ivory says, keep his name out our conversations. Yeah, so those are a few comments that we have here on our page.
Yeah, I want to hear from you. Give us a call. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in. Let's go to Cliff from Connecticut on line 2.
Brother Solomon, thanks for taking my call. And Queen got a beautiful voice, so much respect. But listen, man, I just want to bring this issue up. There's something trending, and, you being a father and also a clergy, one thing I just want to say, this is something that's hot with Kurt Franklin. You know what I mean? If I can, I'll be brief. That children should always respect their parents regardless. In this particular situation, man, he owes no apology to nobody. There's so many young men out there that don't have fathers. So if a father's out there taking care of his child or his son, the least that they can do is respect the father. And please, families, if there's something personal in a family, don't put it on Facebook. That's a family matter, so keep it in-house and then deal with it. Thanks for taking my call, brother.
All right. Thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. We certainly appreciate it. Let's go to Tony from North Philly on line 3. Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, good morning, Solomon.
Good morning.
I'd just like to say it's a given that we need to spend that $1.5 trillion with black businesses. That goes without saying. But more so than that, we need to not spend that money with people that oppress us and lobby against us. If Clarence Thomas had a business, I wouldn't spend a dime with him.
No, I wouldn't either.
So what I'm trying to say, and also, if 47% of those Republicans are not taking that vaccine and all that they've been doing, you better go the opposite direction. All right, thanks.
I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. I want to hear from you. 215-634-8065, of course, is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are in these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. So should the Biden administration seek out Trump to tell his people to take the vaccine? I want to know what you think. Give me a call. 215-634-8065 is the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. I think the thing that really got me today as I was looking at, the stories that we were going to talk about is the fact that they still have not charged anyone with killing Officer Brian Sicknick at that January 6th riot. I'm still flabbergasted by that because, we know that when things like that happen, when an officer is injured or God forbid killed in our community, that the person or persons responsible are found quickly and they are quickly brought to justice. The fact that, you have two people and you charging them with assault and not charging them with murder tells me that there's something more to the story or they can't make it stick. So I want to know what you think. You give me a call, 215-634-8065. That's the number you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio and let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065. Maurice from Southwest is online too. Go ahead.
Hey, Solomon, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
That subject you brought up is so excellent. I don't know what to say about the real estate and about the properties, but I noticed that as soon as we throw a little Carly B in there, everybody forgets about what the real problem is. By us being the poorest largest city in the nation, We're the victim here. They're making money off our sorrows and our pain. Most black people in the city are having problems owning property. That's not the big thing anymore, buying properties, getting Section 8 apartment rooms. So they're moving in and getting these great properties for pennies on the dollar. They're not giving you market value on these places. And when they give you the money, where are you going to move to? You got money, but you can't buy with the money they gave you. You can't buy another house. So, you know, we got to see what they're doing. They're not even looking at individual houses. When they ride through your neighborhood, they're looking at your neighborhood, not your house.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, remember when they wanted to put Temple, wanted a stadium?
Yes.
And we didn't think too much about it because it still was North Philly, right? Then all of a sudden they stopped buying up the Inquirer. They brought the Met. They brought Father Divine. Now from City Hall to Temple, it's not North Philly anymore. People didn't see it coming. They steamrolled them. Look out here in University City.
Well, it's still a lot of property down there that's owned by black people. But yeah, the property that community is gentrifying. Go around, and you're right with the Divine Lorraine Hotel. If you go around that area on the east side of Broad Street, there is a lot of construction going on in that area. Huge buildings, not little small developments, and so. You're right. It is quickly gentrifying.
Solomon, let me leave you with this one. You know where Mercy Hospital is, 54th and Cedar?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They just bought a building across the street. They put two houses together and turned it into an eight-room condo. They want $2 million for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that everybody that lives around there, taxes are going to go sky high. The older people that spent 30 years to get their property can't afford, with the money they get now, can't afford to pay their taxes. Now that area is instantly gentrified, and most people can't buy a house in that area. I'm just telling people, pay attention to really what's going on. And there's no such thing as a black realtor in Philadelphia.
That's not true. What are you talking about? What do you mean? There's a lot of black realtors.
There's none in Southwest and West Philly. None.
Yeah, Maurice, that's wrong.
I live there.
So what? The realtors that are in Philadelphia can sell property all over the city. Like, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about back in the day, you could go to your corner or around somewhere in your neighborhood and you could find somebody black.
You find people online, man. That's where you find your people at now.
But they're not there anymore. Those places are gone. They've been gone for the last 15 years.
There's plenty of black realtors in Philadelphia. You gotta go online. That's where you find them at.
There's none in Southwest Philly.
You're talking about offices. I'm talking about people who have real. Okay, we got to go. But people who have realtor licenses in Philadelphia, there's plenty of black realtors. Now they might not have an office right there but you go online and you find them. You go to somebody else who just sold a property and you find them. Like, it's plenty of people who are licensed realtors who are black in Philadelphia. They might not have that office right there, but they might not want to have that overhead of having that office right there. So, you can find black realtors, man. They don't have to necessarily have an office right there on the corner, but you find them online like you find anything else. We're going to go to break. On the other side, we're going to continue the show. I'm Solomon Jones. We'll be right back.
Recovery starts with a call. Pennsylvania's Substance Use Disorder Hotline is staffed by real people who are trained to help. They're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They'll get you or your loved one into treatment regardless of your access to insurance. If you or someone you know is suffering from addiction, call 1-800-662-HELP. Recovery starts with a call.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
The Black Words Book Club. WURD Radio's new monthly conversation on books that explore the African American experience through social, economic, and environmental justice issues. Tune in the second Tuesday of every month on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. For April, WURD Radio is partnering with the Free Library of Philadelphia and showcasing their pick for its annual citywide reading program, One Book, One Philadelphia, entitled The Tradition by Jericho Brown. Be sure to listen live, as Nick Taliaferro will hold a contest for a giveaway book bundle that consists of 4 titles from Kensington's Defina's Authors of Color's newest release. Don't miss it. Tuesday, April 13th on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Attention for WURD members. Get your copy and receive a 20% discount when you purchase at Harriet's Bookstore or Hakeem's Bookstore. For more information on the Black Words Book Club, visit wordradio.com. The Black Words Book Club is sponsored by Defina. Defina is an imprint of Kensington Publishing Corporation, America's independent publisher, concentrating on authors of color.
The WURD Radio newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected.
Sign up by visiting wordradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on WURD Radio. Messages from our president and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese. Exclusive articles and multimedia content and resources.
Stay informed
with the WURD Radio newsletter.
Back by popular demand.
It's Wake Up with WURD, hosted by Solomon Jones. Right now on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM.
And 900 AM WURD.
Good morning. This is Solomon Jones on 900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD, and I want to welcome you back to Wake Up with WURD. We are, of course, taking your calls at 215-634-8065. That is 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD Radio. Let us know where you are on these various things we're talking about on this morning's show. 215-634-8065 is the number. Renee from West Oak Lane is on line 3. Go ahead, Renee.
Yeah, good morning, Solomon, and everybody. I just want to comment on the real estate. You're absolutely right. They're steamrolling our neighborhoods for gentrification, not only in the city but in the South. I have relatives that live in the South, and they constantly get calls about people wanting to buy their land. And not only that, you have to be careful with these. You got shifty people out here. There's this guy, he was getting people deeds, dead people deeds, and reselling them, and he was praying with senior citizens. So it's a lot of things you have to be careful for when you're real estate. You have real estate or property. I want to talk about that president talking about vaccines. He's talking about the vaccine, but he didn't care about people's lives when he had a rally where people wasn't wearing masks or the roads started moving. So I don't even know where he's jumping off with that. So I just wanted to put that out there.
All right. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WURD Radio. Let's talk to Lola from Jenkintown on line 4. Good morning, Lola.
Good morning, Solomon. Thanks for taking my call. Oh my God, I just wanted to call in because this thing with Fauci and this administration reaching back to Trump, I mean, absolutely not. We voted for Biden to come in, you know, to do what he needs to do to turn this country around. I don't want to hear about Trump. The only thing I want to hear about Trump is him being convicted in New York and maybe being locked up next to, what's the guy, Weinstein, locked up next to him in New York somewhere. Like, no, do not have this man give him airtime. Why would you do this? This man has not even acknowledged his him being the president, and you want this man to be the face of now reaching out to people? No, there are people that can reach out to them. There are doctors that they trust, people in their communities. I'm talking about the Republican people, just like people who we trust. Reach out to them that way. Talk to them, give them incentives to go or whatever. But do not, no, we did not bring in Biden to reach out to Trump. Absolutely not. No. I just don't, all this reaching over the aisle, trying to be friends, let's kumbaya, let's sing a dancing song. Those days are over. That is back in the day what he thought. He has to deal with the ruthlessness of who these people are now and go forward. And I just wanted to say this one last thing, Solomon. Yes, this gentrification is real. I grew up and born in Philadelphia. My family home, my grandparents' home is still there. And I was visiting one of my cousins and down in North Philly, and this used to be free parking in front of your door, everything. I went out there to visit. We going out the door, I'm getting a ticket. I said, well, wait a minute, what are you doing? Oh, this is 2-hour parking. I said, you have to be kidding me. What do you mean this is 2-hour parking? Well, they're getting ready to put the signs up, and there was a sign like all the way like 2 blocks down, and they're putting them up down the street. I mean, this is real. And then like around the corner, they were building like these $1 million condos and stuff. People calling her to buy her home and everything. And I just want to say to all the blacks, do not sell your homes. These homes are rich and wealth that they want, and they just want to take it and gentrify it. Keep your property in the family. Thanks, Solomon.
Thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. We certainly appreciate it. 215-634-8065 is the number. Let's go to Jerry from West Philly on line 1. Good morning, Jerry.
Hi, good morning. Well, they basically done told what I was going to say. But I was wondering, is there anything that we can do to stop these people calling and sending you mail saying, I want to buy your house? Is there anything that could be done about that? Because it's nerve-wracking. And another thing, too, I did have somebody that did do that. They sold their house and everything, and then they found out that the people lied, thought they was going to, they lied in order to get the house. And what it is that I was going to tell, like the young lady said, I was going to tell black people, do not sell your house to these companies. Because, first of all, they're cheating you. Unita and Maurice, there are black realtors. Like you said, you have to go online, because I do have a black realtor. And if I decide to sell my house, I'm going with her and get the true value of my house. I'm not going with these companies because they lie, and they'll pay you the money, but they're not giving you the true value of what your house is worth. So you have to be careful about that. I'm not even going to talk about 45 because I'm done with him. I'm like the other young lady. All I want to hear is about him getting locked up, okay? So I can go around singing just like he did with Hillary, lock her up, mouth in, lock him up, okay? That's all I want to hear. Okay.
I hear you.
Day.
All right, you too. I want to thank you so much for your call this morning on WRD. It's funny, a friend of mine who's a realtor, a black realtor, just sent me a picture of himself, selling houses. So it's like, come on, man, just make sure what you're saying is true. So, it's plenty of black. My neighbor's a black realtor. Like, come on, man. Louise from Center City is on line 2. Go ahead, Louise.
Hi, everyone. The comment that I wrote is, buyers signed the bill on Thursday. I got mine on Friday. My stimulus on Friday and was broke on Saturday. So, you know the song by the OJs. It's Friday, and I just got paid. Gonna have a little bit of fun, but I didn't have fun paying bills. But I'm grateful that I was able to. That's all I had to say.
I know that's right. I know that's right. Well, thank you so much for your call this morning on WRD. Got to pay them bills. Got to take care of responsibilities. Let's go to Keith from North Philly on line 3. Go ahead, Keith.
Good morning, Solomon. Great show, as always.
Thank you.
I just wanted to speak about the migrant children and gentrification. You know, this country has a lot of land, and there's a lot of places they can build to help these children. That's one. 2 is, the American imperialism that exploits the natural resources in these countries, and that's the reason why they come here, to have a better life. So, and then as a people, as black people, we can't be in a tug of war with a people that want to do better for themselves. We can't be the subject. We can't let people subject us to that. That's not our fight. Hello?
Okay. I hear you. All right, Keith. Go ahead.
One more thing. On the gentrification,
yes,
we got to start building as a people, too. Like there's gentrification partially is a natural phenomenon. Like every 40 years, the housing stock starts dilapidating and decomposing, right, unless you take care of your houses, right? So, and then the financial part is that's the problem, where the people, come in our communities, trying to buy cheap. We have the same houses in North and West Philly they have in Fairmount and South Philly. Like, we've been suppressed on value-wise. We've been suppressed. But we do have to come together and look at, like, investment groups or even individuals and start building ourselves. Nobody is more resilient than black people. I mean, we are so resilient, and we can overcome this, but we got to overcome it with competing with gentrification by building also. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right. I want to thank you for your call this morning on WURD Radio. And let us know where you are on these various things we are talking about on this morning show. 215-634-8065. 215-634-8065. That is the number that you can call to get in on the conversation right here at WURD. Had a whole lot to talk about on today's show, man, from the Biden administration saying, yeah, we'd welcome Trump telling his people to take the vaccine. You know, I get it. But nah, man, you can't get this boy a platform, man. He's a liar. So, you know, there's that. And, of course, the crisis on the border. What do? You got over 4,000 unaccompanied migrant children in Border Patrol custody. And we are watching that carefully because that is quickly going to become a political crisis for the Biden administration. And, of course, also talked about federal authorities charging a Pennsylvania man and a West Virginia man with assaulting Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick during the January 6th riot in Washington, but they stopped short of accusing them of causing the officer's death. When are they going to charge someone with murdering Brian Sicknick? The other thing we have to watch carefully is what's happening with the trial of Derek Chauvin, the officer who killed George Floyd. They are now trying to change the venue. Remember, that's the same thing they did with the Rodney King trial. They moved it out of Los Angeles to a very white community that was filled with police officers, and they found those officers not guilty when we all saw what they did on videotape. So watch that very carefully. We're going to be following that story throughout the week. I want to thank everybody who joined us on today's show, including all of our guests, Dr. Delana Wardlaw, Dr. Elena McDonald, Dr. Ira Goldstein, as well as Councilwoman Sherelle Parker, and now for super producer Kawesa Mathis and everyone here at WURD Radio, I am your host, Solomon Jones, saying stay tuned for Reality Check with Charles Ellison. Tune in tomorrow at 7 for more. Wake up with Word. Peace.